Chapter 119. The interior space of the fourth floor was much smaller than that of the third floor. There were only 4 rooms in total. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the first room. The first room was very simple and crude. There was only a stone bed with a few pieces of gray crystals on top of it. After seeing these gray crystals, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, revealing a pleasantly surprised expression. Spirit crystal jades. At this moment, even with Mo Qingyun's mental state, his heart couldn't help but beat faster. Spirit crystal jades were good stuff. After refining it, it could purify the soul and increase the power of the soul. Even in Mo Qingyun's previous life, this kind of treasure was very precious. As long as he refined these few pieces of spirit crystal jades, Mo Qingyun was confident that his soul cultivation would rise to the peak of the illusory realm or even the spirit origin realm. If that was the case, his strength would also increase significantly. Soon after, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and put the few pieces of spirit crystal jades into his chinquin bag. After putting away the spirit crystal jades, Mo Qingyun walked out of the first room and walked towards the second room. The second room was much larger than the first room. There was a huge stove inside, and next to the stove were some ores and semi-finished weapons. This should be a crafting room. Looking at the layout of the second room, Mo Qingyun frowned and pondered. Then, Mo Qingyun simply scanned the room. After a while, Mo Qingyun saw a few ancient books on a shelf next to the stove. Introduction to Crafting Weapons, Complete Guide to Crafting Weapons, True Guide to Crafting Weapons, Experience in Crafting Weapons. Picking up the books, the names of the books appeared one by one in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. It looks like this Burning Sky sect used to be a crafting sect. After briefly skimming through the books, an idea appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. With these books, some of the younger generation in the clan who aren't suited for alchemy can give it a try. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun put the books into his chinquin bag. Next, Mo Qingyun looked around the room again. After not finding anything valuable, he walked towards the third room. The third room was the same as the first room. The space was smaller, and there was only a stone bed. Unfortunately, the third room didn't have any spirit crystal jades. The entire room was empty. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun was slightly disappointed and walked towards the fourth room. As soon as he entered the fourth room, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy, and his expression became excited. The shelves in the fourth room were filled with crimson crystals, which were emitting a rich flame energy. Fire element profound crystals. Mo Qingyun was overjoyed. As long as he refined these profound crystals, he would be able to quickly comprehend the fire element profound. If he could comprehend the fire ultimacy, his strength would be greatly enhanced once again. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun became even more excited about the 5th floor of the Burning Sky Tower. Soon after, Mo Qingyun quickly collected the fire element profound crystals and walked towards the 5th floor of the Burning Sky sect. When he arrived at the 5th floor, Mo Qingyun felt a shocking pressure and the fire element burning his body. Even though he had summoned his martial soul and used his martial soul's ability, Blood Chi Berserk, his body was still burned by the fire element. No, the fire element on the 5th floor is too strong. I can't withstand it. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to stay any longer and immediately returned to the 4th floor. After returning to his thoughts, Mo Qingyun frowned and thought to himself, "It seems that I have to comprehend the fire element profound if I want to enter the 5th floor. Otherwise, I won't be able to withstand the fire element on the 5th floor." Mo Qingyun didn't care about the gravity suppression on the 5th floor. After all, he didn't have to fight with anyone after entering the 5th floor. He only had to walk. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately took out the profound crystals and started refining them. In his previous life, Mo Qingyun's comprehension of fire intent was the deepest, so he was already extremely familiar with it. Now, with the help of the fire intent crystal, he was no match for fire intent. With the help of the fire element profound, his comprehension of the fire element profound reached an unprecedented speed. Soon he found a way. One day later, a piece of fire element profound crystal was completely refined by Mo Qingyun. After refining the power of Upanishad inside the fire Upanishad crystal, Mo Qingyun's understanding and comprehension of fire Upanishad had deepened. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun naturally wouldn't stop. He took out another piece of fire element profound crystal and continued to refine it. Just like this, 5 days passed. At this moment, a firestorm formed around Mo Qingyun's body and surrounded him. If Zhou Tao and the others saw this scene, they would definitely be scared to death. In just 6 days, Mo Qingyun had comprehended another profound. He had successfully comprehended the fire element profound. His speed of comprehending profound meanings was too terrifying and frightening. Brr! Mo Qingyun closed his eyes and shouted coldly. Then, the firestorm around him turned into a wall of fire. I've finally comprehended the first level of the fire element profound. After the wall of fire was formed, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes. His face was filled with ecstasy. I've successfully comprehended the fire element profound. It's time to go to the 5th floor. Seeing that he had successfully comprehended the fire element profound, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He stood up and rushed to the 5th floor of the Skyburn Tower. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at the 5th floor of the Skyburn Tower. This time, the damage of the fire element profound on the 5th floor was obviously much weaker. Without the damage of the fire element profound, Mo Qingyun easily entered the 5th floor and looked at the scene. After looking around, Mo Qingyun realized that the 5th floor was already the top floor of the Skyburn Tower. The layout here was the same as the 1st floor. It was a large hall with a few statues placed in the innermost part. Beside these statues were rows of small words, introducing the identities of the statues. Founder of the Skyburn Sect, founder of the Skyburn Sect, founder of the Skyburn Sect, the most talented person in the history of the Skyburn Sect. He was only 100 years old, and his cultivation had entered the Pill Palace realm. Founder of the Skyburn Sect, the most talented person in the Skyburn Sect. He had once forged a low-grade spiritual weapon by himself. After looking at the words beside the statues, Mo Qingyun knew the identities of the statues. Below the statues, there were a few praying mats. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that there was a skeleton sitting on the praying mat in the middle. After seeing the skeleton, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He released his soul energy and sensed it. After confirming that the skeleton was completely dead, Mo Qingyun let out a sigh of relief. He slowly walked towards the skeleton. He was a little worried. This skeleton was the same as Qi Lian. It wasn't completely dead and its soul was still alive. After coming to the side of the skeleton, Mo Qingyun realized that there was an ancient scroll on the skeleton. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber. Heaven Grade Middle Tier Martial Skill. Refine the Sun Incinerating Qi / mountains and rivers. When Mo Qingyun picked up the book and looked at it, the words on the cover immediately attracted his attention. I didn't expect the complete version of the Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber to be at the top floor of the Skyburn Tower. It's really not easy to obtain it. Looking at the Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber in his hand, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun was looking at the Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Saber, the aura emitted from the skeleton attracted Mo Qingyun's attention. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun started to size up the skeleton. Chapter 120. At the dantian of the skeleton, there is a mini version of the palace lying there quietly. The aura that Mo Qingyun sensed just now came from his palace. Pill Palace. Looking at this miniature version of the palace, Missouri Qingyun was extremely excited. He really did not expect to encounter such a treasure here. Pill palaces could only be opened by experts whose cultivation had reached the Pill Palace realm. It was the foundation of a Pill Palace realm expert strength. From the aura, this person's cultivation should have reached the 4th level of the Pill Palace realm or above. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and took out the pill palace. He guessed the cultivation of this skeleton when he was alive. If I refine this pill palace, I should be able to protect myself in Lianyun City. After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately started refining the pill palace. The pill palace was the foundation of a pill palace realm expert. It contained a terrifying power. If Mo Qingyun wanted to refine it, it would undoubtedly be extremely difficult. However, if Mo Qingyun could successfully refine it, his harvest would be huge. Not only could he use the pill palace to refine his dantian, but he could also use the power of the pill palace as a life-saving trump card when necessary. In the following days, Mo Qingyun spent his time refining the pill palace. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. After 3 days of refining, Mo Qingyun finally refined 10% of the pill palace. This kind of progress made him happy. If he continued at this speed, he would be able to refine the pill palace completely within a month. While refining the pill palace, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body also increased. 10 days later, Mo Qingyun successfully refined 40% of the pill palace. It was slightly faster than he had expected. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the peak of the middle stage of the 7th level of the true energy realm. He was only a step away from the late stage. 20 days later, at this moment, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body suddenly surged, becoming much stronger in an instant. His cultivation had broken through and successfully entered the 8th level of the true energy realm. 25 days later, at this moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been refining the pill palace, slowly opened his eyes. His face was filled with excitement. After 25 days of continuous refining, the pill palace was finally completely refined by him. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had completely stabilized at LV8 True Energy Realm, and had even reached the peak of the early stage of LV8 True Energy Realm. It's time to leave. After completely refining the Dan Palace, Missouri Qingyun kept the Dan Palace into his dantian. Borrowing the elemental energy within the Dan Palace, he continued to refine his dantian. It could be said that from this moment onwards, Mo Qingyun's dantian was constantly being tempered by the pill palace's elemental energy. It was constantly growing stronger. Why did the light gate martial spirit produce a soul power fluctuation? Just as Mo Qingyun was about to leave, he suddenly felt a ripple from the light door martial spirit. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun summoned the light door martial spirit and examined it. Following this, a light door that seemed to have come from ancient times appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the soul power within the light door martial spirit was rapidly converging, condensing into a mini version of the light door martial spirit. Light door martial spirit, this is... Looking at the transformation of the light door martial spirit, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with doubt and curiosity. After a while, the soul power fluctuation within the light door martial spirit finally stopped. At this moment, there was another mini version of the light door martial spirit. This mini version of the light door martial spirit constantly flickered with a whirlpool-like light, emitting a shuttling force. After seeing the second mini version of the light door martial spirit, Mo Qingyun's expression became excited. He said in surprise, could this be the light door martial spirit's second martial spirit ability? The light door martial spirit actually has 2 martial spirit abilities. According to Mo Qingyun's knowledge, he had never heard of a martial spirit having 2 martial spirit abilities. After discovering this situation, the light door martial spirit became more and more mysterious in his heart, making him even more curious about the light door martial spirit. What level is this light door martial spirit at? It actually has 2 martial spirit abilities. Mo Qingyun was shocked. At the same time, he also displayed the second martial spirit ability. Immediately, a whirlpool-like light door appeared in front of him. It looked somewhat similar to the teleportation door. The light door martial spirit's second martial spirit ability, could it be teleportation? Looking at the whirlpool-like light door in front of him, Mo Qingyun's heart was filled with doubts. He lifted his foot and walked into the whirlpool-like light door. Swoosh! Then, Mo Qingyun realized that the scene in front of him blurred. Following the outside of the Skyburn Tower, he appeared in the center of the Skyburn sect ruins. It's really teleportation. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's face was immediately filled with shock and excitement. Teleportation. This ability was even more powerful than teleportation, and teleportation could only be done by Supreme Being experts. In that case, didn't the current him have the ability to surpass the Supreme Being experts? When I stepped into the teleportation door, I thought of the center of the Skyburn sect ruins. Then, I appeared here. Recalling the situation just now, Mo Qingyun inwardly speculated, could it be that the teleportation location of this whirlpool-like light door is based on my thoughts? After this thought appeared, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to verify it. After verifying it, Mo Qingyun's heart confirmed that the situation was indeed as he thought. The teleportation location of the whirlpool-like light door was based on his thoughts, and then it would be teleported to the designated location. Apart from this, after verifying it, Mo Qingyun had some other understanding of the whirlpool-like light door. That was, the further the distance of the teleportation door, the greater the consumption of the martial soul's soul power. Therefore, the teleportation distance had a certain limit. However, even so, the ability of this second martial soul was extremely helpful to Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he couldn't help but think that if he encountered any danger in the future, perhaps he could escape through the whirlpool-like light door. After thinking in this way, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He thought to himself, if I had this ability in my previous life, I wouldn't have been surrounded and killed by Li He and the others. Since the ability of the second martial soul is teleportation, then let's call it the teleportation door. Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and named it according to the ability of his second martial soul. Afterwards, after calming his excited heart, Mo Qingyun headed towards the exit of the Skyburn sect ruins. I wonder how Qi Lian and the others are doing now. On the way to the exit of the Skyburn sect ruins, Mo Qingyun was a little worried about the safety of Qi Lian and Yuyin. After all, in the Skyburn sect ruins, he had killed many juniors from the Galaxy Master sect, the Zhou clan, and the Flowing Brightness Valley. After the juniors of the three forces left, they would definitely report this matter to their elders. In this way, after the three forces found out about this matter, they would definitely take revenge on Qi Lian. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to walk out of the Skyburn sect ruins, he received a spiritual message from Qi Lian. Qi Lian told Mo Qingyun that he and Yuyin were no longer outside the Skyburn sect ruins. After the juniors of the three forces came out, they told their elders what had happened inside. After that, the people of the three forces took revenge on him and Yuyin. After that, he brought Yuyin out of the encirclement and hid in a secluded place not far from the Skyburn sect. The teleportation door appeared. After knowing the location of Qi Lian and Yuyin, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much. He used the teleportation door and teleported to the place that Qi Lian had mentioned. Whoosh! Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and the scene before him blurred. Then, he appeared in a hidden mountain forest. Moss. Master. When they saw Mo Qingyun suddenly appear, Qi Lian and Yuyin were shocked. They were stunned on the spot. Teleportation. In Qi Lian and Yuyin's eyes, Mo Qingyun's current actions were undoubtedly the same as teleportation. Mo Qingyun had teleported to where they were. Teleportation was something that only Supremes could use. Mo Qingyun's cultivation was only at the true energy realm, but he could use such a technique. This was too heaven-defying. If they knew that Mo Qingyun's teleportation door was more powerful than teleportation, they would probably be scared silly. Mastery? You master teleportation? Even with Qi Lian's mental state, he couldn't calm down in this situation for a long time. It's not teleportation. It's just a technique similar to teleportation that I master by luck. Mo Qingyun gave a simple explanation and didn't talk about the teleportation door in detail. Chapter 121. Master, there seems to be an obscure energy fluctuation in your body. Sensing the obscure fluctuation in Mo Qingyun's body, Qi Lian furrowed his brows and looked at Mo Qingyun suspiciously. Oh! Hearing Qi Lian's words, Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised. He was surprised at Qi Lian's perception. However, thinking about Qi Lian's identity before his reincarnation, Mo Qingyun understood. With Qi Lian's perception as a transcendent realm expert in his previous life, it was normal for him to be able to sense the Pill Palace's aura in his body. It seems like in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, I have to hide the Pill Palace's aura. Mo Qingyun thought to himself. Then, he used his martial soul super ability, Sealed Gate, to seal the Pill Palace's aura. That obscure aura disappeared again. Following Mo Qingyun's sealing of the Pill Palace's aura, Qi Lian furrowed his brows again and muttered to himself. Looking at Qi Lian's expression, Mo Qingyun only smiled faintly and did not explain further. At this moment, after Mo Qingyun sealed the Pill Palace's aura, he suddenly felt that Qi Lian and Yu Ying's aura had changed. Both of your cultivations have broken through. Mo Qingyun's expression was slightly shocked as he looked at the two of them with surprise. At this moment, Mo Qingyun could clearly feel that Qi Lian's aura was at Yuan Dan Realm's 3rd level. As for Yu Ying's aura, it had surpassed the half-step Yuan Dan Realm and reached the Yuan Dan Realm. Yes, both Yu Ying and I have improved our cultivation during this period of time. Qi Lian chuckled and explained, when the 3 forces were chasing us, I killed a Yuan Dan Realm's 3rd level cultivator and a few Yuan Dan Realm's 1st level cultivators. After refining their blood essence, we successfully broke through. When he said this, Qi Lian's face was filled with smiles. It was obvious that he was very happy with the results of the battle. Seeing Qi Lian's breakthrough, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious. He asked him in a deep voice, "How is your current strength?" Qi Lian's face was filled with pride as he replied, "I can fight against the Yuan Dan Realm's 5th level cultivator." Good. Let's return to Lianyun City now. After hearing Qi Lian's answer, Mo Qingyun nodded with satisfaction, got up, and walked forward. Calculating the time, it had been almost 2 months since he left Lianyun City. It was about time for him to return. In addition, with Qi Lian's current cultivation, he didn't have to worry about the Shuef family anymore. It was time to settle the score with the Shuef family. Following this, Mo and Yu Ying and Yu Ying. On the way back, Yu to Yu. Qi Lian, here are a few soul crystals. Refine them. When he was refining the Yu Ying, Mo Qingyun looked at Qi Lian and gave him a few pieces. The reason why Mo Qingyun did this was that the stronger Qi Lian soul energy was, the more blood slaves he could subdue. In comparison, these Yu Ying's soul crystals would be more useful for Qi Lian to refine. Soul crystals. Seeing the soul crystals that Mo Qingyun handed to him, Qi Lian's face was filled with excitement. He raised his hand to receive them. Soul crystal jades were good stuff. With these soul crystal jades, his soul power would immediately increase by a lot. After receiving the soul crystals, Qi Lian did not hesitate and started to refine them. With his intelligence, he naturally understood Mo Qingyun's thoughts. Mo Qingyun asked him to refine the soul crystals to increase his soul energy so that he could use his ability to subdue blood slaves. Just like that, Mo Qingyun and the other two had a clear division of labor on their journey. Yu Ying was in charge of driving the carriage, while Qi Lian and Mo Qingyun refined the soul crystals to increase their soul energy. 5 days later, Mo Qingyun and the other two finally returned to Lianyun City. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's soul cultivation had a significant increase. Mo Qingyun's soul cultivation had successfully broken through to the late stage of the illusory realm. Qi Lian's soul cultivation had also successfully entered the early stage of the illusory realm. When the city guards saw Mo Qingyun, they immediately showed respect and bowed to Mo Qingyun and the other two to let them pass. After entering Lianyun City, Mo Qingyun directly returned to the Azure Jade Mansion. He was anxious to return home. In the blink of an eye, he had already left the Azure Jade Mansion for 2 months. He did not know how the Azure Jade Mansion was doing now. Young Master Qingyun is back. After a while, the guards at the entrance of the Azure Jade Mansion saw Mo Qingyun return. They were overjoyed and reported to the mansion. Following that, Mo Hong Tian and the others were overjoyed as they came out to welcome him. When he saw that Mo Hong Tian and the others were all well, Mo Qingyun relaxed and walked towards them with a faint smile. As he approached them, Mo Qingyun realized that the strength of the Mo clan and the others had improved significantly during this period of time. Mo Qingyun was very happy to see such an outcome. The smile on his face deepened. Mo Qingyun walked to the front of Mo Hong Tian and the others and asked them, "Grandfather, how has the mansion been recently? Did the Shui clan come to cause trouble?" "Everything is fine. Everything in the Azure Jade Mansion is on the right track now." Thinking about the Mo clan's current situation, Mo Hong Tian smiled with relief and said, "Although the Shui clan often comes to cause trouble, they don't dare to go overboard because of the City Lord's Mansion and the Alchemist Union." Shui clan. Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he heard Mo Hong Tian's words. He thought to himself, "I hope you can behave yourselves. Otherwise, I don't mind erasing all of you." "Oh, that's right. Young City Lord Yuexian from the City Lord's Mansion came by a few days ago and asked when you would be back." Mo Hong Tian's expression changed, and he said solemnly, "Young City Lord Yuexian seemed to have something urgent to discuss with you. He told us to ask you to make a trip to the City Lord's Mansion as soon as you return." "Oh." Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was a little surprised by Wan Yueshuan's visit. However, he soon understood the reason behind it. It had been almost 2 months since he had removed the poison from Wan Lianyun. Wan Yuexian must have come because of this matter. "In that case, I'll make a trip to the City Lord's Mansion first." Thinking about the poison in Wan Lianyun's body, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and said to Mo Hong Tian and the others, "Grandfather, I'll make a trip to the City Lord's Mansion first. I'll be back soon." "Okay." Mo Hong Tian nodded when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. At the same time, he looked curiously at Yuyin and asked, "Qingyun, who is this?" "This is Yuyin, Qi Lian's new disciple." On the way, Mo Qingyun had already found out that Yuyin was quite talented and had taken him in as his in-name disciple. Mo Qingyun did not mind Qi Lian's decision. It was not a bad thing for Qi Lian to do so. Yuyin was quite talented. If he was nurtured well, he would be useful in the future. As for Yuyin, he was very excited about Qi Lian taking him in as his in-name disciple. In his eyes, Qi Lian was a ruthless person with extraordinary means. "Young friend, Yuyin, it's a pleasure to meet you." Mo Hong Tian greeted Yuyin after hearing Mo Qingyun's introduction. When Yuyin had entered, he had already sensed Yuyin's terrifying aura. Hence, he did not dare to be negligent. Yuyin was immediately overwhelmed by Mo Hong Tian's attitude. He waved his hand and said, "Old master, you're too polite. I can't accept your greeting." He had no choice. He was Qi Lian's blood slave, and Qi Lian was Mo Qingyun's servant. Given his status, how could he accept Mo Hong Tian's greeting? "Yuyin, you stay in the Azure Jade Mansion first. Qi Lian and I will make a trip out." Mo Qingyun instructed Yuyin and followed Qi Lian to the City Lord's Mansion. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun walked out of the Azure Jade Mansion, a group of people arrived outside the Azure Jade Mansion. All of them had arrogant expressions on their faces. These people were none other than the Shui family. The Shui family? Chapter 122. "Oh, Mo clan members, you are quite self-aware to have taken the initiative to welcome us." The young man at the front of the Shui clan looked at Mo Qingyun and the rest with disdain when he saw Mo Qingyun and the rest walk out of the Azure Jade Mansion. So, Have you thought it through? The young man glanced at the members of the Mo clan and said, I'll give all of you one last chance. If you still don't hand over that kid, Mo Qingyun, then even if the Alchemist Alliance and the city governor's estate protect him, my Shui clan will definitely annihilate your Mo clan. Massacre the Mo clan? Mo Qingyun's face darkened when he heard the young man's words. He narrowed his eyes as he looked at the other party. Mo Hongtian's expression immediately changed when he saw Mo Qingyun's expression. Worried that Mo Qingyun would act rashly, he hurriedly said, Qingyun, don't be rash. He is the son of the Shui clan's master, Shui Yunjie. Brat, so you're Mo Qingyun. Shui Yunjie found out about Mo Qingyun's identity while Mo Hongtian was trying to persuade Mo Qingyun. He was a little surprised as he said coldly, You're finally willing to show yourself. I thought you would be a coward for the rest of your life. Since you've come out, that's great. As long as you kneel down, kowtow, and admit your mistakes, then kill yourself in front of me, I can consider letting your Mo clan off. Cowardly tortoise? Let my Mo clan off? Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes when he heard Shui Yunjie's words. The sneer on his face deepened as he said, Let me tell you this. Even if you kowtow and admit your mistakes in front of me now, I won't let your Shui clan off. Shui Yunjie's expression immediately turned ugly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said coldly, Reckless brat, since you want to drag the entire Mo clan down with you, I'll fulfill your wish. Kill all these country bumpkins and hang their corpses on the city walls to dry. Yes, young Master Yunjie. The guard behind Shui Yunjie immediately charged towards Mo Qingyun when they heard Shui Yunjie's words. Stop. Seeing the actions of the Shui family's guards, the guards of the city lord's mansion who had been standing guard at the side all stepped forward to stop the Shui family's guards. Seeing the guard from the city lord's mansion, the Shui family's guards had no choice but to stop. As for Shui Yunjie, he seemed to have expected the appearance of the city lord's mansion's guards. He wasn't surprised at all. Seeing this, Shui Yunjie took out a plaque and threw it in front of the Mo clan. He sneered and said, Useless cowards who only know how to rely on others for protection. I think your Mo clan should change your plaque to this. Clang! The plaque fell to the ground with a crisp sound. There were 4 words written on it, Cowering Mo family. Mo Qingyun looked at the plaque on the ground and sneered even more. He replied, Good, your Shui family has done well. You've given me many ways to deal with your Shui family. Punish our Shui family? Boy, are you an idiot? Do you think your Mo clan can punish our Shui family? Shui Yunjie looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. He replied, If the city lord's mansion's people weren't here, I would have massacred your Mo clan right now and hung your corpses on the city walls to dry. Massacred our Mo clan and hung our corpses on the city walls to dry? Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He looked coldly at the Shui family and said to the city lord's mansion's guards, You don't have to interfere with what happens next. Let us handle it ourselves. Young Master Dan, the city lord said that if we do this, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the guards were put in a difficult position. Don't worry, I will explain to City Lord Wan when the time comes. Seeing the guard captain's expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need to worry. But, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the guard captain still wanted to persuade him. But seeing Mo Qingyun's determined expression, he chose to watch from the side. He thought to himself that he would let Mo Qingyun deal with it himself first. If it doesn't work out, then he will intervene. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't want the city lord's mansion's people to interfere, Shui Yunjie immediately smiled coldly. He said, Boy, I admire your courage. You dare to abandon the city lord's mansion's protection. But soon, I will let you know how stupid your decision was. Is that so? Mo Qingyun smiled mockingly. He glanced coldly at the Shui family, as if he was looking at dead people. Go, massacre the Mo clan. Shui Yunjie waved his hand at the people behind him and ordered them to massacre the Mo clan. Yes, young Master Yunjie. Hearing Shui Yunjie's order, the guards immediately responded and charged toward the Mo clan. As the guards charged toward the Mo clan, The elder behind Shui Yunjia, who had been silent all this while, slowly walked forward and said condescendingly, I know that your Mo clan has a Yuan dance stage cultivator. Ask him to come out. As soon as the elder finished speaking, a terrifying aura exuded from his body. Second level Yuan dance stage. This elder's cultivation was actually at the second level of Yuan dance stage. When Mo Hong Tian and the others sensed the aura from the old man, their expressions changed and their faces turned pale. A powerful cultivator at the second level of Yuan dance stage. Such a person could destroy the Mo clan with just a flip of his hand. At this moment, while the Mo clan was worried, Qi Lian snorted coldly and walked out. He said disdainfully, Humph. How dare a second-level Yuan dance stage cultivator be so arrogant? Let me refine you. As soon as Qi Lian finished speaking, he unleashed his aura without holding back. As soon as Qi Lian unleashed his aura, the surrounding people's expressions changed. Qi Lian's aura was actually stronger than the Shui clan elders. Didn't this mean that Qi Lian's cultivation was even higher than the Shui clan elders? He might have even reached the third level of Yuan dance stage. The red-haired elder from the Mo clan is actually a third-level Yuan dance stage cultivator. After this discovery, everyone's hearts skipped a beat. They suddenly realized that they seemed to have underestimated the Mo clan. At this moment, when Qi Lian unleashed his aura, Yuan also attacked the Shui clan guards. He unleashed his Yuan dance stage aura without holding back. Yuan dance stage. Another Yuan dance stage cultivator. The Mo clan had another Yuan dance stage cultivator. The Mo clan, which had always been like an ant in everyone's eyes, actually had two Yuan dance stage cultivators. At this moment, everyone took the Mo clan seriously. Based on the strength that the Mo clan had just displayed, they could already be ranked among the top 100 clans in Lianyan City. Good. After learning about Qi Lian and Yu Yin's true cultivation, Mo Hong Tian and the rest were overjoyed. They cheered excitedly. They really did not expect Mo Qinyan to bring back two Yuan dance stage cultivators in one go. With Qi Lian and Yu Yin, the Shui clan would have to think twice if they wanted to touch the Mo clan. From this moment onwards, the Mo clan was no longer a weak existence that could be easily bullied by others. From today onwards, anyone who wanted to touch the Mo clan would have to think twice. Two Yuan dance stage cultivators. Seeing Qi Lian and Yu Yin in front of him, Shui Yunjia's face immediately paled. He seemed to be panicking. He had never dreamed of such a situation. At this moment, while Shui Yunjia was worried, Mo Qinyan moved and charged towards the guards at the side. Gravity suppression. After arriving at the guard's side, Mo Qinyan immediately used the Earth Ultimacy to suppress the Shui clan guards' mobility and assist Yu Yin in killing the Shui clan guards. Although Mo Qinyan's cultivation was still low, the Shui clan guard's mobility was greatly affected by his gravity suppression. What's going on? Why do I feel like there's a few hundred pounds of weight on my body? Sensing the pressure of the gravity, the guards of the Shui clan immediately panicked. Earth Ultimacy. At this moment, while these guards were panicking, the expressions of Qi Lian and the others changed. Shock flashed in their eyes. Mo Qinyan had actually comprehended the profundity of Earth. In that case, didn't Mo Qinyan have comprehended two profundities? Mo Qinyan was only in the true energy realm, but he had comprehended two ultimacies. This kind of comprehension ability was too heaven-defying. Good lad. Knowing that Mo Qinyan had comprehended two ultimacies, Mo Hong Tian immediately became excited. The corners of his eyes became wet. With such a son, what more could the Mo clan ask for? The funny thing was that Mo Keed and the rest actually thought that Mo Qinyan's talent was not as good as Mo Tsong's. They were really short-sighted. This lad's future is limitless. Chapter 123. Bang! While the crowd was still in shock at the fact that Mo Qinyan had comprehended two profundities, Qi Lian sent the elder from the Shui family flying with a single palm strike. Puff! When the elder from the Shui family landed on the ground, he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura weakened. It seemed like he was severely injured. Crack! However, Qi Lian did not show any mercy. He raised his hand and grabbed the elder from the Shui family's neck, breaking it instantly. The second-level Yuan Dan from the Shui family was dead. Hiss! Seeing Qi Lian's decisive action, the expressions of the surrounding people involuntarily changed as they sucked in a breath of cold air. The red-haired elder from the Mo family was ruthless. At this moment, Qi Lian left a terrifying impression in the crowd's hearts. Qi Lian did not care about the crowd's reaction. After killing the elder from the Shui family, he attacked the guards from the Shui family. Bang! 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 Facing Qi Lian's attack, the true energy realm guard from the Shui family were like clay chickens and pottery dogs. They were instantly crushed to death. In the blink of an eye, all the guard from the Shui family were killed by Qi Lian. In just a few breaths' time, the elders and guards who came with him were all killed by Qi Lian. At this moment, Shui Yunjia's face turned pale. His body trembled, and his face was ashen. He was scared. He had never imagined that the Mo family, which was like an ant in his eyes, would have such a terrifying existence. As fear rose in his heart, Shui Yunjia did not dare to stay any longer. He immediately turned around and prepared to flee. When Mo Qingyun saw that Shui Yunjia was about to flee, he sneered and said disdainfully, "You only know how to run now. Do you think you can still escape?" Swift shadow steps. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he moved and appeared in front of Shui Yunjia in a flash, blocking Shui Yunjia's path. What are you trying to do?" When Shui Yunjia saw that his path was blocked by Mo Qingyun, his face was filled with fear as he spoke in a flustered tone. "What am I trying to do?" Looking at the panicked Shui Yunjia, Mo Qingyun gave him a disdainful look and raised his leg to kick him. Shui Yunjia was only at the third level of the true energy realm. Faced with Mo Qingyun's attack, he was practically defenseless and was sent flying by Mo Qingyun's kick. Bang! Under Mo Qingyun's foot, Shui Yunjia was directly sent flying and landed heavily on the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. Cough! After falling to the ground, Shui Yunjia spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale as he looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. "You, don't come over." Shui Yunjia looked flustered as he stammered. As Mo Qingyun walked closer, his body kept moving backward. "Are you scared?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. A cold glint flashed in his eyes as he looked at Shui Yunjia. Seeing Mo Qingyun's cold gaze, Shui Yunjia immediately shuddered and said in horror, "You can't touch me. I'm the young lord of the Shui family. If you dare touch me, the Shui family will not let the Mo family off." The young lord of the Shui family? Hearing Shui Yunjia's words, Mo Qingyun laughed disdainfully and said coldly, "Even if you were the patriarch of the Shui family, you would still die today, let alone the young lord of the Shui family. Go to hell." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his face darkened as he lifted his leg to stomp on Shui Yunjia. "Young Master Dan, please wait. Qingyun, don't be impulsive." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the mayor's mansion's guard captain and the Mo family members immediately tried to stop him. They were worried that if Mo Qingyun really killed Shui Yunjia, the Shui family members would go crazy. Crack! Crack! Just as they were about to speak, Mo Qingyun stomped on Shui Yunjia's chest without hesitation. The sound of bones cracking could be heard. After being stomped by Mo Qingyun, Shui Yunjia's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Mo Qingyun really dared to kill him. Then, Shui Yunjia fell to the ground with an unwilling look on his face and no longer breathed. Silence. At this moment, time seemed to have frozen. Everyone held their breaths and stared at Mo Qingyun with wide eyes. Mo Qingyun had actually killed Shui Yunjia. Moreover, he had done it so decisively without the slightest hesitation. Shui Yunjia was the son of the Shui family's patriarch. Mo Qingyun would definitely drive the Shui family's patriarch crazy if he killed him. "Young Master Dan, you're in big trouble. You killed Shui Yunjia. The Shui family members will definitely go crazy." At this moment, the The mayor's mansion's guard captain was worried. He said to Mo Qingyun in disappointment, "If you do this, the Shui family will take revenge on the Mo family. The mayor's mansion and the Alchemist Alliance Guild won't be able to intervene." "That's right, Qingyun." Mo Hong Tian also sighed. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a worried expression and said, "If the Shui family doesn't care about the consequences, I'm afraid it won't be good. Don't worry, everyone. I naturally have a plan for what I'm doing." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at the crowd and comforted them. He continued, "Besides, if the Shui family attacks us and we don't retaliate, will they let us go?" Everyone fell silent when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They couldn't deny that Mo Qingyun was speaking the truth. Even if Mo Qingyun didn't kill Shui Yunjie and the others, the Shui family wouldn't let the Mo family off. "Since that's the case, what difference does it make whether I kill Shui Yunjie or not?" Seeing that everyone was silent, Mo Qingyun continued, "Yuing, strip these people of their clothes and hang them on the city wall. I want everyone to know the consequences of offending the Mo family." "What? He wants to strip Shui Yunjie and the others of their clothes and hang them on the city wall?" Mo Qingyun's actions will completely infuriate the Shui family. Everyone was shocked when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They were extremely shocked. At this moment, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun had changed without them realizing it. Wild, domineering, and powerful. This was the feeling that Mo Qingyun gave everyone. "Qingyun, if you do this, I'm afraid." After a momentary daze, Mo Hongtian's face was filled with worry as he tried to persuade Mo Qingyun. However, before he could finish speaking, second elder Mo Kuishin interrupted. "Master, the world is now in the hands of the younger generation. Let Qingyun do as he pleases. I believe that he will definitely surprise us." Mo Hongtian was silent for a moment when he heard this. Then he nodded his head and said, "Since that's the case, I will accompany this kid in his madness. If our Mo family doesn't perish this time, it will be the time for our Mo family to rise." "Grandfather, don't worry. Our Mo family will definitely rise." Mo Qingyun was slightly touched when he saw that Mo Hongtian and the rest had spoken to him. He turned to Mo Faping and said, "First, uncle, make a plaque for me and write the words Trash Shui Family. It's time to change the plaque in the Shui family residence." "Good kid. I was waiting for you to say that." Mo Faping laughed heartily when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He then turned around and began to make preparations. When they saw Mo Qingyun's instructions, the expressions of the city Lord Mansion's guard captain and some of the others involuntarily twitched. This young Master Dan was truly vengeful. Furthermore, he was so daring. It would be difficult for the Shui family to not go crazy with his actions. At this moment, everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with a trace of respect in their eyes. They secretly warned themselves not to offend Mo Qingyun. This fellow was simply too vengeful. After giving out his instructions, Mo Qingyun turned to Qi Lian and said, "Elder Qi, you stay in the Mo family. I will go to the city Lord Mansion myself." "All right." Qi Lian nodded his head in agreement when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He knew that Mo Qingyun had made such arrangements because he was worried that the Shui family would seek revenge after he left. No one in the Mo family would be able to stop them. "Qingyun, it's not safe for you to go alone. Why don't you let Elder Qi go with you?" Mo Hong Tian said worriedly. "Patriarch Mo, don't worry. I will go with young Master Dan." After Mo Hong Tian spoke, the guard captain at the side spoke up. "Then I will have to trouble you, Captain." When he heard the guard's words, Mo Qingyun thanked him. Chapter 124. About 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun and the captain arrived at the city governor's mansion. After arriving at the city governor's mansion, the captain of the guards led Mo Qingyun directly to Wan Lianyun's residence. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the captain arrived at Wan Lianyun's residence. Coincidentally, Wan Lianyun was sitting in the courtyard and talking to Wan Yuexian about something. "Mr. Mo, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive, Wan Lianyun and the captain smiled warmly and greeted him. "Mr. Mo, please have a seat." "Thank you, City Governor Wan, young Master Wan." Mo Qingyun replied politely and then sat down at the side. "Captain Li, why are you back?" Wan Lianyun asked the captain of the guards with a puzzled look on his face. According to his instructions, Captain Li had to protect the Azure Jade Mansion at all times. "City Governor, it's like this." After hearing this, Captain Li reported what had happened to Wan Lianyun. Gasp! After hearing Captain Li's report, Wan Lianyun and Wan Yuexian both gasped and looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. This kid was ruthless. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to kill Shui Yunjie directly. Shui Yunjie was the son of the Shui family's patriarch. At the same time, they were also surprised that Mo Qingyun managed to recruit 2 Yuan Danrel masters in such a short time. More importantly, one of them might be a level 3 Yuan Danrel master. This was not a simple move. For a clan that didn't have an Origin Core Stage expert, wanting to recruit an Origin Core Stage expert as a guest wasn't an easy matter. Did I miss something? At this moment, Wan Lianyun's expression changed as he looked at Mo Qingyun. This guy is really arrogant. Wan Yuexian looked at Mo Qingyun's expression and felt a little depressed. As the son of the city governor, he did not seem to be so overbearing. "Mr. Mo, you killed Shui Yunjie. I'm afraid Shui Zhenyang won't let this go." Wan Lianyun frowned slightly and pondered for a moment. He then instructed Captain Li. "Captain Li, go find guest Elder Dan Min and ask him to protect the Mo family with you." "Yes, City Governor." Captain Li replied and turned around and walked out of the courtyard. Seeing Wan Lianyun's action, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He revealed a look of gratitude and said, "Many thanks, City Lord Wan. I will remember this friendship of yours." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun waved his hand and sighed. "Young Master Mo, although I can send people to protect the Mo family on the surface, it's easy to dodge a spear in the open, but difficult to guard against a stab in the dark. I'm worried that the Shui family will secretly make a move. In addition, you have to be careful of the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon faction," Wan Lianyun added with a serious face. "Be careful of the Heavenly Dragon faction and the Taishan sect?" Mo Qingyun was confused and asked, "City Governor Wan, please enlighten me. I'm not very clear about the specific situation. However, according to the information we've gathered, the Mount Tai sect and the Heavenly Dragon gang seem to have some connection with the Shui family," Wan Lianyun said with a serious expression. "Oh, is that so? Thank you for your reminder, City Governor Wan. I'll pay attention to this." Mo Qingyun was a little surprised to hear this from Wan Lianyun. He then said to Wan Lianyun, "City Governor Wan, let me detoxify you first." "Okay." Wan Lianyun nodded and went back to the house to let Mo Qingyun detoxify him. After the first detoxification, the poison in Wan Lianyun's body was not as strong as before. This time, the detoxification was much easier. Soon, Mo Qingyun finished detoxifying Wan Lianyun. "Done." Mo Qingyun stood up and said, "In 2 months, I'll detoxify you again. It should be completely detoxified." "Thank you, young Master Dan," Wan Lianyun said gratefully to Mo Qingyun after hearing this. "Young Master Yuexian, here are 400 primordial stones to repay the 4 million gold coins you owe." Mo Qingyun took out 400 primordial stones and handed them to Wan Yuexian. Primordial stones? Wan Yuexian was stunned when he took the primordial stones from Mo Qingyun. He was surprised that Mo Qingyun would use primordial stones instead of gold coins to repay the money he owed for the Azure Jade Mansion. Seeing that the matter was settled, Mo Qingyun said goodbye to the two of them. "City Governor Wan, young Master Wan, I'll take my leave first." "Mr. Mo, take care." Wan Lianyun nodded and said to Wan Yuexian, "Yuexian, send Mr. Mo off." "Mr. Mo, I'll send you off." Wan Yuexian gestured for Mo Qingyun to leave the city governor's mansion. After leaving the city governor's mansion, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He thought to himself, "Uncle's plaque should be ready. It's time to go to the Shui family." At this moment, when Mo Qingyun was leaving the city governor's mansion, The news that Shui Yunjie was killed by Mo Qingyun spread like wildfire in Lianyan City. Have you heard? Young Master Dan killed Shui Yunjie, the young master of the Shui family. It's said that Shui Yunjie brought a group of people to destroy young Master Dan's family. That's why he was killed. That's not all. After young Master Dan killed Shui Yunjie and the others, he hung their corpses on the city walls. Ah, young Master Dan hung the corpses of Shui Yunjie and the others on the city wall? Is that true? That's too fierce. Of course it's true. Why would he lie to you? If you don't believe me, you can go take a look. They're probably still hanging there. In an instant, the news spread like wildfire in Lianyan City. In the Alchemist Alliance Guild. What? Qingyun killed Shuizhenyang's son? When Du Luo and the other two learned that Mo Qingyun had killed Shui Yunjie, they all revealed shocked expressions. This kid is really messing around. If this goes on, the Mo family and the Shui family won't have any leeway. So you said worriedly, I think this kid did a good job. Anyway, there's no need to talk about feelings. Just kill him and end it all. Zhao Qi disagreed and retorted. No matter what, this matter is getting more and more troublesome. Du Luo frowned and said worriedly, No, I have to go to the Mo family to take a look. Otherwise, if Shui Zhenyang goes crazy and brings the Shui family to take revenge, the Mo family won't be able to stop them. Let's go together. Hearing Du Luo's words, Zhao Qi and Suyu stood up and followed Du Luo to the Bu mansion. While Du Luo and the others were heading to the Bu mansion in the Mount Tai sect. Hearing that Shui Yunjie was killed by Mo Qingyun, the sect master of the Mount Tai sect had a ferocious expression. He gritted his teeth and said, Mo Qingyun, Mo family. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. Sect master, don't be rash. Don't ruin things. When the sect master of the Mount Tai sect was enraged, an old man beside him immediately comforted him. Hearing the old man's words, the sect master of the Mount Tai sect's face darkened. He snorted and said angrily, Humph. Do you think I'm going to watch someone kill the younger generation of the Shui family? Shui Ming and Shui Yunjie are my nephews. If an outsider heard this, they would be shocked. The sect master of the Mount Tai sect was actually from the Shui family. Sect master, please listen to me. The Mo family dared to kill the young master of the Shui family because they have the backing of the Alchemist Alliance and the City Lord's mansion. The old man's expression was cold as he said slowly, As long as we restrict these two forces, the Shui family can take revenge on the Mo family without any hesitation. Alchemist Alliance, City Lord's mansion, it won't be long before I get rid of all of you. Shui Zhenhai angrily slammed the corner of his chair and walked out. He said, Let's go to the Shui family and discuss how to deal with the Mo family. Yes. The old man followed Shui Zhenhai out of the hall and headed to the Shui family. At this moment, when Shui Zhenhai was heading to the Shui family, the Sky Dragon Triad also received the news of Shui Yunjie's death. In the Sky Dragon Triad's meeting hall. What? Mo Qingyun killed Shui Yunjie? The Sky Dragon Triad's leader's expression froze as he asked in surprise, Where did you get this news from? Now the whole Lianyan City is talking about this kid. After he killed Shui Yunjie and the others, he ordered people to hang their bodies on the city wall. An old man beside the Sky Dragon Triad's leader nodded solemnly. Mo Qingyun, does he really think that the Shui family is easy to bully? Hearing this, the Sky Dragon Triad's leader was enraged and slammed the table beside him. The Sky Dragon Triad's leader was actually from the Shui family. If people knew that the sect master of the Mount Tai sect was also from the Shui family, it wouldn't be any different. Let's go to the Shui family. Our Shui Zhenjiang's nephew will not be killed so easily. The Sky Dragon Triad's leader snorted and walked out of the hall towards the Shui family. Yes. The old man nodded and followed Shui Zhenjiang to the Shui clan's residence. At this moment, Mo Qingyun returned to the Bu mansion while all the forces were shocked by the fact that Mo Qingyun killed Shui Yunjie. After returning to the Bu mansion, Mo Qingyun found Mo Feipeng and asked, Uncle, is the plaque done? It's done. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feipeng laughed and handed the plaque to Mo Qingyun. Chapter 125. Immediately report to the city lord that young Master Dan is heading to the Shui family. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were heading to the Shui family, Captain Li immediately instructed a city guard. Yes, Captain. The city guard acknowledged Captain Li's instructions and immediately ran to the city lord's mansion. About 15 minutes after Mo Qingyun left the Azure Jade Mansion, Du Luo and the other two arrived. President Du Luo, founding elders. When Mo Hong Tian and the others saw Du Luo and the other two, they bowed and greeted them. Patriarch Mo, where's that kid? Qingyun. Du Luo and the other two asked Mo Hong Tian with concern when they didn't see Mo Qingyun. Mo Hong Tian's expression turned solemn when he heard Du Luo and the other two asking about Mo Qingyun. He replied, Qingyun is heading to the Shui family with Elder Qi. What? He's going to the Shui family. Du Luo and the other two were shocked when they heard Mo Hong Tian's words. They said worriedly, nonsense, he killed Shui Zhenyang's son. Isn't he walking into a trap and seeking his own death by going to the Shui family? Old Du, old Su, let's hurry over immediately. We'll be in trouble if we're late. Zhao Qi had an anxious expression as he urged Du Luo and Su Yu. All right. The three of them stopped hesitating and rushed to the Shui family. Just as Du Luo and the other two were heading to the Shui family, the guard in charge of delivering the message finally arrived at the city lord's mansion. City Lord, Captain Li asked me to tell you that young Master Dan is heading to the Shui family. Not long after, the guard arrived in front of Wan Lianyun and reported to him. What? Wan Lianyun's expression changed when he heard the guard's message. He became nervous and said in shock, You're saying that Mr. Mo is heading to the Shui family? Yes, City Lord. The guard nodded in confirmation. Yuexian, let's go to the Shui family immediately. Wan Lianyun didn't dare to hesitate after receiving confirmation from the guard and instructed Wan Yuexian. He then led some of the guests of the City Lord's mansion to the Shui family. About an hour later, in the Shui family's meeting hall. Yinjie, don't worry. Father will definitely avenge you. Shui Zhenyang hugged Shui Yunji's corpse, his face filled with grief and indignation as he said, Mo clan, I, Shui Zhenyang, will slaughter your entire clan. At this time, while Shui Zhenyang was filled with grief and indignation, the sound of fighting came from outside. Bang, bang. Following that, some of the Shui family servants were forcefully forced into the mansion from outside. What happened? Sensing the commotion outside, Shui Zhenyang's face turned gloomy. He grabbed a servant who was running towards the main hall and questioned him. Patriarch, this is bad. Upon hearing Shui Zhenyang's question, a panicked expression appeared on the guard's face as he said, The Mo clan has come knocking on our door. Mo clan. Hearing the guard's reply, Shui Zhenyang immediately clenched his fists and the veins on his neck bulged. He walked out of the mansion with a ferocious expression. Patter. Just as Shui Zhenyang and the others arrived outside the mansion, the sound of splintering wood could be heard. Clang. Then, Shui Zhenyang saw a broken plaque fall from the top of the Shui family's gate to the ground with a crisp sound. Seeing that the Shui family's plaque had been torn apart by Mo Qingyun and Shui Zhenyang's face immediately darkened, and he gnashed his teeth in anger. Then, when Shui Zhenyang saw the new plaque hanging above the gate, he was so angry that his entire body trembled. Trash Shui family. These four words were so glaring in Shui Zhenyang's eyes at this moment. Little brat Mo clan, you've gone too far. At this moment, Shui Zhenyang could no longer maintain his calm and roared at Mo Qingyun. Gone too far? Hearing Shui Zhenyang's words, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and said, Old dog of the Shui family, when your Shui family sent a plaque to my Mo clan, wasn't that going too far? If you're a whore, don't put up a monument to your chastity, lest you attract disgust and disdain. Little brat Mo clan, you're courting death. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Zhenyang could no longer maintain his calm. He raised his hand and sent a palm strike towards Mo Qingyun. If you want to touch my young lord, you'll have to get past me first. Seeing Shui Zhenyang's action, Qi Lian immediately moved and blocked in front of Mo Qingyun, sending a palm strike towards Shuizhenyang. Bang! Under Qi Lian's attack, Shuizhenyang's palm strike was immediately blocked. A loud sound rang out as the two of them collided. Then, a shocking wave of energy spread out in all directions, setting off a cloud of dust. Third level of Yuan Dance stage. Seeing that Qi Lian had easily blocked his palm strike, Shuizhenyang's expression changed. He looked at Qi Lian with a solemn expression and said coldly, "Sir, it's not easy for you to cultivate to the third level of Yuan Dance stage. Don't make a mistake and get yourself into trouble because of a small MO clan. If you leave now, I can overlook your previous offense." Hearing Shuizhenyang's words, Qi Lian smiled disdainfully and said, "You think too highly of yourself. You're just a fourth level of Yuan Dance stage cultivator. You're not qualified to order me around." "Patriarch, what happened?" "We just sensed the aura of another Yuan Dance stage cultivator." At this moment, as soon as Qi Lian finished speaking, a few old men walked out of the Shui residence with puzzled looks on their faces. That aura came from the MO clan's Yuan Dance stage cultivator. Hearing the words of the old men behind him, Shuizhenyang's face darkened and he replied coldly, "MO clan." Hearing Shuizhenyang's words, the old men's faces immediately darkened. Killing intent flashed in their eyes as they looked at Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. Seeing the arrival of the old men behind him, Shuizhenyang sneered and said, "Kid, I'll let you know that coming to the Shui residence was a stupid decision. Elders, I'll hold this person back. You guys go and kill that kid." Shuizhenyang instructed the old men behind him. Then, he moved and attacked Qi Lian at lightning speed. In a short while, Shuizhenyang and Qi Lian were engaged in a fierce battle. The sky darkened and the ground darkened as origin energy flowed wildly. "Yes, Patriarch." After hearing Shuizhenyang's instructions, the old men from the Shui family rushed towards Mo Qingyun. Swift shadow steps. Seeing the old men from the Shui family rushing towards him, Mo Qingyun immediately retreated and said disdainfully, "Old dogs from the Shui family, you're really shameless. It's bad enough that you're bullying the weak, but you're bullying the weak with your numbers. You Shui family people are really shameless. Kid, you're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the faces of the old men from the Shui family darkened. They attacked Qing Yun crazily. Seeing the old men from the Shui family attacking him, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold, and he prepared to use the power of the Pill Palace. "Who dares to hurt my disciple?" At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to unseal the power of the Pill Palace, a domineering voice sounded from behind him. Then, Mo Qingyun saw 3 figures standing in front of him, blocking the attack of the old men from the Shui family. Alchemist Alliance. Seeing the 3 of them appear, the old men from the Shui family had a change in expression and their faces turned ugly. They couldn't accept that such a good opportunity to kill Mo Qingyun was ruined by the Alchemist Alliance. Du Luo and the other 2 ignored the anger of the old men from the Shui family. They smiled at Mo Qingyun and said, "Good disciple, are you injured? If you came any later, it would have been hard to say." Mo Qingyun smiled helplessly at the arrival of the 3 old men from the Shui family. Zhao Qi glanced at Mo Qingyun. When he found that Mo Qingyun was fine, he let out a sigh of relief. He looked at the Shui family elder with a displeased expression and shouted, "Bastards, you actually dared to harm my disciple. It looks like I have to teach you a lesson." Zhao Qi raised his hand and attacked the old man from the Shui family. The aura of an 8th level Yuan Dan realm was fully displayed. Faced with Zhao Qi's attack, the expressions of the Shui family's elders changed as they became terrified. "Old man Zhao, don't you think you're being too nosy?" At this moment, when Zhao Qi was attacking the old men from the Shui family, a dissatisfied voice sounded from his side. Then, Mo Qingyun saw a middle-aged man leading an old man to the side of the old men from the Shui family. When the middle-aged man arrived, he raised his hand and slammed it towards Zhao Qi, blocking Zhao Qi's attack. "Tai Shanhai, this has nothing to do with the Mount Tai sect, right?" Zhao Qi said unhappily when he saw that the middle-aged man had blocked his attack. I just can't stand your behavior. The middle-aged man from the Mount Tai sect shrugged and replied disdainfully. "Umph. Let's see how you're going to stop me today." Zhao Qi raised his hand and attacked Tai Jinhai. "If you want to fight with our sect leader, you'll have to go through me first." Seeing that Zhao Qi was attacking Tai Jinhai, the old man beside Tai Jinhai snorted and attacked Zhao Qi as well. "Old man, let me play with you." When Suyu saw that Tai Jinhai and the old man wanted to team up against Zhao Qi, he showed a look of disdain and attacked the old man beside Tai Jinhai. "Yo, the old men from the Union of Alchemists are meddling in other people's business again." At this moment, when Zhao Qi and the other three were fighting, a mocking voice came from not far away. After hearing those mocking words, Tai Jinhai immediately turned to the person who spoke and requested for help. "Brother Long, please lend me a hand and slaughter these old fellows." Okay. When they heard Tai Jinhai's request, the two men from the Sky Dragon sect nodded and attacked Zhao Qi and Suyu. "Umph. If you want to bully me with numbers, you'll have to ask me first." Du Luo snorted when he saw the actions of the two men from the Sky Dragon sect. He also joined the battle and attacked the two men from the Sky Dragon sect. In an instant, the current situation could be said to be extremely chaotic. The elders of the Shui clan sneered when they saw the scene before them. They approached Mo Qingyun and said, "Brat, let's see who will be able to save you now." Chapter 126. Is that so? Facing the encirclement of several Shui family elders, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up as he sneered. Swift shadow steps, then Mo Qingyun's body moved, and he quickly retreated, leaving behind an afterimage. As Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, a mysterious power was emitted from his body. Ultimacy power. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was displaying the power of profundity. This kid actually comprehended wind ultimacy. After discovering this, the elders of the Shui family all revealed shocked expressions. They felt disbelief. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it even if they were beaten to death. After all, it was too ridiculous. Mo Qingyun was only in the true energy realm. How could he have comprehended ultimacy power? Was there anything more ridiculous than this? What? That kid is only in the true energy realm. How could he comprehend ultimacy power? How is this possible? How could someone in the true energy realm comprehend ultimacy power? This kid must be eliminated. This kind of talent is a disaster. At this moment, the Heavenly Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect members were shocked when they heard the Shui family elders' words. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's performance had already completely exceeded their understanding. Good. Knowing that Mo Qingyun had comprehended ultimacy power, Du Luo and the other two were also excited and cheered. Du Luo smiled and said, "It seems like this kid's cultivation talent is not inferior to his alchemy talent." "Yes, that's right. This kid is really surprising us." After Du Luo spoke, Zhao Qi and the other two immediately responded. "Oomph, what's the use of having good talent? This kid is destined to die here today." The Heavenly Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect members snorted coldly, their faces dark. This kid must be eliminated today. At this moment, the Mount Tai sect, Heavenly Dragon Triad, and Shui family members all had the same thought. In their hearts, they thought that with Mo Qingyun's talent, if they couldn't get rid of him as soon as possible, he would definitely be a big problem in the future. Hearing the words of the Heavenly Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect disciples, Duruo and the other two's expressions changed, and they started to worry for Mo Qingyun. After all, the Heavenly Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect's words were not false. With Mo Qingyun's cultivation, facing the encirclement of the Shui clan's elders, things did not bode well for him. Soul Heaven Seal, while everyone had their own thoughts, Mo Qingyun took out 18 soul battle seals without hesitation and blasted them towards the elders of the Shui family. Puff, puff, puff. The soul battle seals could damage one's soul. Even the Yuan Dan realm elder of the Shui family was hit by the 18 soul battle seals and severely injured his soul. "Ah, you little thief of the Mo clan, you're courting death." After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul battle seals, the elders of the Shui family all let out miserable shrieks, and their expressions became ferocious. Even with their Yuan Dan stage cultivation, they had actually been tricked by a junior of the true energy stage when they had joined forces to deal with him. To put it bluntly, this was definitely the greatest humiliation in their lives. It would never be erased. This kid actually injured the Shui family's elders. Seeing the situation on Mo Qingyun's side, Duo and the other two's faces were filled with astonishment, and they could not believe what they were seeing. Mo Qingyun's current performance had completely exceeded their expectations. Duo and the other two sighed again. This is really surprising. This kid is becoming more and more unpredictable. While Duo and the other two were sighing, the Shui family's elders had already approached Mo Qingyun. Gravity suppression. Seeing the Shui family's elders approaching, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to use the earth profound meaning. Under the gravity suppression, the Shui family's elders immediately felt a gravitational force on their bodies, causing them to lose their balance and almost fall to the ground. The profound meaning, it's the profound meaning again. After realizing this, the Shui family's elders' faces changed, and their minds went blank. The genuine Qi realm kid in front of them had actually comprehended two types of profound meaning. What kind of monstrous talent was this? Two ultimates, even Yuan Dan stage experts like them, would not be able to achieve such a feat. This kid has also comprehended the earth profound meaning. At this moment, the Shui family's elders were all shocked, and they looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief. As soon as the Shui family's elders finished speaking, the surroundings fell silent, and everyone was stunned. Originally, they were already shocked that Mo Qingyun had comprehended one type of profound meaning. At this moment, they really did not expect that Mo Qingyun had not only comprehended one type of profound meaning, but two. A genuine Qi realm kid had comprehended two types of profound meaning. What kind of monstrous talent was this? Of course, if they knew that Mo Qingyun had also comprehended the fire profound meaning, they would probably be scared to death. This kid, at this moment, Du Luo and the other two had mixed feelings. For a moment, they did not know what to say and could only laugh bitterly. At this moment, they finally realized how terrifying Mo Qingyun's cultivation talent was. In front of Mo Qingyun's monstrous talent, the three of them could not help but feel a sense of defeat in their hearts. Door of Seals, unseal. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock at Mo Qingyun's display of talent, Mo Qingyun unsealed some of the seals on the Pill Palace. Then, the aura on his body rose rapidly, and in the blink of an eye, it reached the level of Yuan Dan realm. Yuan Dan realm. The aura on Mo Qingyun's body had actually reached the level of Yuan Dan realm. This discovery shocked everyone once again, and their eyes widened as they looked at Mo Qingyun. Just how many trump cards did this brat Mo Qingyun have up his sleeves? While everyone was still in a daze, Mo Qingyun moved his body and punched towards an elder of the Shui family. 9 heavy crash. Mo Qingyun punched out, and the terrifying elemental energy immediately turned into 9 fist shadows, enveloping the elder of the Shui family. Elder Shui Zhuang, be careful. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Shui Zhuang's face immediately changed, and he warned the elder of the Shui family. However, although Shui Zhuang immediately warned him, he was still one step too late. Bang! Just as Shui Zhuang was about to speak, Mo Qingyun's fist shadows had already landed on Shui Zhuang's body, sending him flying. Poof! Caught off guard by Mo Qingyun's all-out attack, Shui Zhuang was seriously injured. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face was pale. His aura weakened, and he was probably crippled. Seeing Shui Zhuang being crippled by Mo Qingyun, everyone at the side was petrified, and they stood there in a daze. Even if they racked their brains, they would never have imagined such an outcome. Several Yuan Dan realm elders of the Shui family besieged Mo Qingyun, a true energy realm kid, and not only did they fail to kill him, but they also failed to kill him. On the contrary, after a fight, one of them was crippled by Mo Qingyun. No one would believe such a thing if they told others about it. However, it was undeniable that this outcome was ironic, and it would definitely be the greatest humiliation of the Shui family in the future. Poof! While everyone was still in shock over this outcome, Emo Qingyun also spat out a stream of blood, and his face turned red. Phew! As he felt the surging origin energy fluctuations within his body, Emo Qingyun let out a deep breath and rejoiced. Fortunately, it's only unsealed to the first level of the origin course stage. If it was any higher, then my body would probably explode. This kid's move just now was probably not his own strength, but an external force. With his current level of cultivation, he is still unable to control that force. Right now, he must be suffering from the backlash of that force. Seeing Mo Qingyun's current performance, the surrounding people's expressions became slightly better, and they could vaguely guess what had happened. Even so, they could not deny that Mo Qingyun's move was indeed heaven-defying. Oomph. Kid, I'm afraid you're not having a good time now. I'd like to see how many times you can borrow that force. After knowing the mystery behind it, a Shui family elder's face darkened, and he attacked Mo Qingyun again. At this moment, just as the Shui family elder was about to attack Mo Qingyun, a horse carriage rushed over at lightning speed. At this moment, just as the horse carriage approached, a person dashed out and quickly arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. Then, this person raised his hand and blasted out a palm, blocking the Shui family elder's attack. Haha, let's talk nicely. There's no need to use violence. Chapter 127. City Governor Wan Lianyun. Everyone's expression changed when they saw the person who had blocked the elder's attack. Some of them had ugly looks on their faces, while others smiled. The person who had blocked the elder's attack was none other than Wan Lianyun, the city governor of Lianyun City. Wan Lianyun looked concerned when he saw the blood at the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth. He asked, "Mr. Mo, are you all right?" Mo Qingyun waved his hand and smiled faintly. "Thank you for your concern, City Governor Wan. I'm fine." Mo Qingyun frowned slightly after replying to Wan Lianyun. He thought to himself, the situation is getting more and more complicated. Even the 4 major forces of Lianyun City have been alerted. It seems like it's impossible to destroy the Shui family today. Tai Jinhai's face darkened when he saw Wan Lianyun. He said unhappily, "Wan Lianyun, this is none of your business. I hope you won't meddle in other people's business." Haha, I don't care about your business. However, I won't allow anyone to hurt Mr. Mo. Wan Lianyun didn't care about Tai Jinhai's threat at all. Due to Wan Lianyun's appearance, both sides stopped fighting and entered a state of confrontation. The faces of the Mount Tai sect, the Sky Dragon sect, and the Shui family twitched when they heard Wan Lianyun's words. From Wan Lianyun's words, he could clearly tell that Wan Lianyun wanted to go against the 3 of them. However, considering Wan Lianyun's strength, the 3 forces of the Mount Tai sect were extremely wary of him. They didn't want to fall out with Wan Lianyun unless they had no other choice. Especially now that the city governor's mansion was on the same side as Du Luo and the other 2. This made them even more wary. After a short silence, Tai Jinhai's face darkened. He looked at Wan Lianyun and said, "Wan Lianyun, if you want to protect this kid, we'll let you take him away as long as he destroys his cultivation and kneels down to apologize to Master Shui." Tai Jinhai then asked Shui Jinyang for his opinion. "Master Shui, what do you think of my suggestion?" "Sect Master Tai, since you've spoken, we'll do as you say." Shui Jinyang nodded and tacitly agreed with Tai Jinhai's suggestion. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a gloomy expression and said, "As long as this kid cripples his own cultivation and kowtows to me, I will spare his worthless life." "Kowtow and apologize? Spare my life?" Mo Qingyun laughed in disdain when he saw Tai Jinhai and Shui Jinyang putting on a show. He said in disdain, "Old dog of the Shui clan, Grandpa will clearly tell you that even if you kowtow to me and admit your mistakes, I will not spare the lives of your Shui clan. Moreover, Grandpa has yet to thank me for giving you the Shui clan's plaque." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of Du Luo and the others changed. They sighed inwardly. This kid is really arrogant. a horizontal board. However, after a brief moment of hesitation, everyone's gazes fell on the Shui clan. Then, the plaque with the words Trash Shui Family entered everyone's eyes. After seeing the horizontal board, Du Luo, Wan Lianyun, and the others all looked at Mo Qingyun with strange expressions. At this moment, they finally understood Shui Zhenyang's anger. Mo Qingyun was challenging his bottom line. After glancing at Mo Qingyun, Zhao Qi smiled faintly at Shui Zhenyang. Master Shui, this is your fault. My disciple gave you the horizontal board out of kindness. It's fine if you don't thank him, but how can you repay kindness with evil? Master Shui, you're being too unkind. So you also added, this new horizontal board is so domineering. It's so compatible with your Shui clan's residents. Domineering? Compatible? Hearing Su Yu's words, the expressions of the people from the city lord's residence changed. They looked at Su Yu and the others with strange expressions. At this moment, they couldn't help but sigh. Birds of a feather flocked together. Su Yu, Zhao Qi, and Du Luo, the three old men, being able to take in a disciple like Mo Qingyun probably had something to do with their personalities. Su Yu and the other two old men's personalities were exactly the same as Mo Qingyun's. You are going too far. Shui Zhenyang's expression twitched when he heard Su Yu and Zhao Qi's words. He was so angry that his entire body trembled. After Shui Zhenyang's words, Tai Zhenhai said with a slightly threatening tone, Zhao Qi, Su Yu, it's better if you don't meddle in this matter. Don't cause immeasurable trouble for yourself because of a moment of carelessness. After warning Du Luo and the other two, Tai Zhenhai turned his head to look at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, Kid, if you don't want to cause trouble for your family and friends, it's best that you cripple your own cultivation and kowtow to Master Shui and apologize. Who do you think you are? Do you have the right to speak here? When he heard Tai Zhenhai's words, Mo Qingyun glanced at him with disdain and replied, I'll warn you as well. If you don't want your Mount Tai sect to be annihilated because of what you've just said, then kowtow to me and apologize right now and slap yourself 100 times. Mo Qingyun actually asked Tai Zhenhai to kowtow to him and apologize and slap himself 100 times? When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of the surrounding people instantly changed, and they were slightly shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. This kid is really arrogant. Du Luo and the other two, as well as Wan Lianyun and the others, couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. Reckless kid. Do you think you can leave alive with Wan Lianyun and the others protecting you? When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, the nearby Heavenly Dragon Gang's master, Long Junjiang, looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Who the hell are you? Since when is it your turn to speak? When he heard Long Junjiang's words, Mo Qingyun also looked at him with disdain and said coldly, Don't think that the Shui family can protect you just because you've become their dog. After I annihilate the Shui family, I'll annihilate your Heavenly Dragon Gang. Shui family's dog? Annihilate the Heavenly Dragon Gang? When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, Du Luo and the others were stunned again, and they didn't know what to say anymore. Kid, you're courting death. When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Long Junjiang's face darkened, and he released the aura of a 7th level Yuan Dan stage that crushed Mo Qingyun. Long Junjiang, you're a famous person in Lianyun City. What's the point of bullying a junior? When he saw Long Junjiang releasing his aura to suppress Mo Qingyun, Zhao Qi looked at him with disdain and released his aura as well, blocking Long Junjiang's aura. When Long Junjiang saw Zhao Qi blocking him again, his face darkened and he glared at Zhao Qi. Everyone, can you do me a favor and end this matter here? At this moment, when Du Luo, Tai Zhenhai, and Long Junjiang were at daggers drawn, Wan Lianyun walked out with a faint smile. When Tai Zhenhai saw that Wan Lianyun wanted to interfere, his face darkened, and he threatened Wan Lianyun. Wan Lianyun, you better not interfere in this matter to avoid bringing trouble to the city governor's mansion. What if I have to do something about it? Wan Lianyun's face was filled with pride as he replied fearlessly. Do you think that you have the ability to interfere in this matter with your sickly body? Tai Jinhai said coldly with disdain. Sickly body? When Wan Linyun heard Tai Jinhai's words, he smiled playfully and released his aura. Yuan Dance Stage Perfection, Stage 9th Level. Wan Linyun's cultivation was actually at the Perfection Stage 9th Level Yuan Dance Stage. His title as the #1 expert in Linyun City was not just for show. You've cured the poison in your body? When Tai Jinhai and Long Junjiang sensed Wan Linyun's aura, their expressions changed and they were shocked. Such a situation was truly beyond their expectations. Haha, it's all thanks to Mr. Mo's help. Otherwise, I'm afraid that I would still be suffering from the poison. Wan Linyun chuckled and looked at Mo Qingyun with a grateful expression. The poison in Wan Linyun's body was cured by Mo Qingyun. When Wan Linyun's words fell, everyone was shocked and they found it hard to believe. Many forces in Linyun City knew that the poison in Wan Linyun's body was the kind that could not be cured. Even Du Luo and the others from the Alchemist Union were helpless. They did not expect that Mo Qingyun would cure the poison in Wan Linyun's body. It's this brat again. When Tai Jinhai and the others found out that the poison in Wan Linyun's body was cured because of Mo Qingyun, they were furious. This brat is really surprising. I didn't expect him to cure the poison in City Governor Wan's body. Du Luo and the others were delighted and looked at Mo Qingyun with gratification. They sighed and said, I'm afraid that his alchemy skills are not weaker than ours. Thinking of this, Du Luo and the others' expressions changed and they were shocked. Didn't this mean that Mo Qingyun was already a third-grade alchemist? Such a young third-grade alchemist was too demonic. After releasing his aura, Wan Linyun smiled faintly and asked, Now, can I take Mr. Mo away? We've miscalculated this time. Let's wait and see. When Tai Jinhai and the others saw this, they snorted and left. Chapter 128. After leaving the Shui mansion, Mo Qingyun and the others boarded Wan Linyun's carriage and headed back to the Azure Jade Mansion. For what happened today, we can confirm that the relationship between the Mount Tai sect, the Sky Dragon sect, and the Shui family is not ordinary. In the carriage, Wan Linyun's face was solemn as he spoke in a heavy tone. The Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect have always been ambitious. If they join forces, I'm afraid that Linyun City will not be peaceful in the future. Hearing Wan Linyun's words, Du Luo and the other two sighed inwardly. There's still a month before the Cloud Sea Paradise opens. At this moment, Wan Yuexian revealed a worried expression and said, Now that we've fallen out with the Sky Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect, I'm afraid that they will join forces to deal with us in the Cloud Sea Paradise. This is unavoidable. Even if we don't fall out, they will still secretly join forces to deal with us. Wan Linyun's face was solemn as he said in a deep voice, This is also good. Let's break through this layer of window paper so that they won't suddenly attack and we won't be prepared. Cloud Sea Paradise? What is that place? Hearing Wan Linyun and the others' conversation, Mo Qingyun frowned and looked at Wan Linyun curiously. The Cloud Sea Cave is a cultivation cave of an expert. It opens once every 3 years. 1 month from now, it will open again. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Wan Yuexian explained, Originally, the Cloud Sea Paradise belonged to the City Lord Mansion, but for some reason, the Sky Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect found out about it the last time it opened. After competition, we lost because we were too weak. We had to compromise and reach an agreement with them. Every time the Cloud Sea Paradise opens, the 3 forces will compete fairly. Wan Yuexian paused for a moment before continuing. The competition is that each faction will send out 3 true Energy Realm juniors to compete with each other. The one who wins in the end will be qualified to enter the Cloud Sea Paradise. So that's how it is. Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding and nodded. However, the fight for the paradise this time around is extremely disadvantageous for our City Lord Manor. After explaining to Mo Qingyun, Wan Yuexian revealed a worried expression and said, Originally, the candidates for the competition were the sons of the 2 guardians and I. However, My cultivation has recently broken through to the true energy stage, so I can no longer participate in the competition. Therefore, there is one less candidate to participate in the competition. It is too difficult to find a suitable substitute in a short period of time. Hearing Wan Yueshuan's words, Mo Qingyun and the others nodded. They understood Wan Yueshuan's thoughts. However, at this moment, right when everyone was silent, Qi Lian suddenly said, "Young Master Wan, I have a pretty good candidate, and I can recommend him to you." Hearing Qi Lian's words, Wan Yueshuan's expression lit up, and he said with a look of anticipation, "Elder Qi, please enlighten me." Qi Lian gazed at Mo Qingyun and said, "I think that my young lord is the most suitable candidate." Mr. Mo? Hearing Qi Lian's recommendation, Wan Yuexian and Wan Lianyun were both stunned. They were somewhat surprised by Qi Lian's recommendation. After being stunned for a short while, Wan Yuexian said, "Young Master Mo, although his talent in pill refinement is unparalleled, the contest for the heavenly abode is a battle of strength. Such a battle. I don't think young Master Mo is suitable for it." Yuexian is right. This kind of competition is indeed not suitable for Mr. Mo to participate. Wan Lianyun nodded to express his agreement with Wan Yueshuan's point of view. He continued, "Moreover, Mr. Mo's cultivation is only at the 8th level of the true energy stage. When the time comes, he will be at a disadvantage. Moreover, during the competition, swords and sabers have no eyes. If Mr. Mo is injured because of this, we will feel very sorry." Mo Qingyun was not good at fighting. Hearing Wan Lianyun and his son's words, Du Luo and the other two's expressions immediately became strange. Mo Qingyun was a terrifying fellow who had comprehended 2 ultimacies. His combat strength was astonishing. How could he not be good at fighting? Moreover, during the fight with the Shui family's elder, Mo Qingyun had even crippled a powerhouse of the Yuan dance stage. How could he not be good at fighting? What a joke. Now, Wan Lianyun and his son actually thought that Mo Qingyun was not good at fighting. How could they be so wrong? Ha! City Governor Wan, young Master Wan, you're wrong this time. After a short pause, Du Luo chuckled and said, "You've underestimated Qingyun by looking at him this way. If I may offend you, young Master Wan, even if your cultivation is at the true energy stage, you are still no match for Qingyun." "How is that possible? With my cultivation at the true energy stage, how can I be no match for Mr. Mo?" Hearing Du Luo's words, Wan Yueshuan's face was full of shock. He could not believe what Du Luo had said. At this time, Zhao Qi also smiled playfully and said to Wan Yuexian, "Ha! Young Master Wan, in terms of cultivation, of course you're higher. But in terms of artistic conception, you're far behind Qingyun." Oh! Hearing Du Luo and Zhao Qi's words, Wan Lianyun showed a curious expression and asked, "Could it be that Mr. Mo has some unknown trump card or technique?" "Ha! If I said that Qingyun had comprehended 2 ultimacies of wind and earth, would you believe me, City Governor Wan?" Du Luo looked playfully at Wan Lianyun and his son. "What? Mr. Mo, he comprehended 2 ultimacies of wind and earth. How is this possible? How could a true energy stage cultivator comprehend 2 ultimacies?" For a moment, Wan Lianyun and his son were both shocked and in disbelief. "Good disciple, show it to City Governor Wan and the others." Seeing that Wan Lianyun and his son did not believe him, Zhao Qi smiled at Mo Qingyun. "Okay." Hearing Zhao Qi's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and displayed the 2 ultimacies of wind and earth one after the other. As Mo Qingyun displayed the 2 ultimacies of wind and earth, Wan Lianyun and his son were stunned on the spot. Hiss! Then both of them sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at Mo Qingyun as if they were looking at a monster. It was too terrifying. He was only in the true energy stage, but he had comprehended 2 ultimacies of wind and earth. Was he still human? "Mr. Mo, you're too much of a blow to us." Wan Yueshuan's face immediately became gloomy. He pulled a long face and said to Mo Qingyun, "It's fine that you have such a terrifying talent in alchemy, but why is your cultivation talent also so terrifying?" How can we live like this? Ah, seeing Wan Yueshuan's reaction, Mo Qingyun was stunned and speechless. Ha! The crowd burst into laughter when they saw Wan Yueshuan's reaction. Wan Lianyan patted Wan Yueshuan's head and said with a laugh, "Brat, now you know what it means by there's always someone better than you. Let's see if you still won't cultivate properly in the future." Hearing Wan Lianyan's words, Wan Yueshian became even more gloomy. Looking at his face, it was indeed a blow to him by Mo Qingyun. If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble Mr. Mo for the Battle of the Cloud Sea Cave. After knowing that Mo Qingyun had comprehended two ultimacies of wind and earth, Wan Lianyan no longer doubted him. He was very clear about the power of ultimacies. Mo Qingyun, who had mastered two ultimacies of wind and earth, could easily defeat someone of the same cultivation level as him. At this moment, as if to boost Wan Lianyan's confidence, Su Yu added, "City Governor Wan, with Qingyun here, you can rest assured. The Battle of the Cloud Sea Cave will definitely belong to the City Governor's mansion." Zhao Qi added, "City Governor Wan, you may not know this, but before you came to the Shui family, Qingyun had crippled Elder Shui Zhuang of the Shui family." "Mr. Mo, he crippled Shui Zhuang?" Hearing Zhao Qi's words, Wan Lianyan was immediately dumbfounded. He almost could not believe his ears. He had some impression of Elder Shui Zhuang of the Shui family. He was a LV-1 Yuan Dan realm expert. A LV-1 Yuan Dan realm expert had actually crippled Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Wan Lianyan did not know what to say. At this moment, hearing this, Wan Yuexian finally could not hold it in anymore. He raised his finger and pointed at Mo Qingyun and said agitatedly, You freak." When he said this, Wan Yuexian almost went crazy. They were both humans, but why was there such a huge gap between them? Chapter 129. About an hour later, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian returned to the Azuya mansion. Qingyun is back. Seeing Mo Qingyun return, everyone in the Mo family was relieved. After hearing what Du Luo and the other two said, they were worried. Now that Mo Qingyun had returned safely, they could finally relax. Yes, Mo Qingyun nodded and said to Mo Hongtian, "Grandfather, I have something to give you." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out a few books on weapon forging and handed them to Mo Hongtian. Introduction to Weapon Forging, Complete Guide to Weapon Forging, True Guide to Weapon Forging, Insights on Weapon Forging. Looking at the books in their hands, Mo Hongtian and the rest were stunned. They were overjoyed. Refining weapons was a skill that could only be learned in some ancient clans or sections. Before Mo Hongtian and the rest could recover from their shock, Mo Qingyun handed Mo Hongtian another Chinquan bag. Taking the Chinquan bag from Mo Qingyun, Mo Hongtian asked in confusion, "What's inside?" "Some primordial stones." Mo Qingyun smiled. "Primordial stones." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian and the rest were shocked. They quickly opened the Chinquan bag to check. After taking a look, Mo Hongtian was dumbfounded. He could not believe what he was seeing. All he saw were white stones. There must be at least a few 100,000 primordial stones. A few 100,000 primordial stones. How many gold coins was that? At this moment, Mo Hongtian felt that his brain was not big enough. He had been the head of the Mo clan for so many years, but he had never seen so much money. Mo Hongtian was excited. He asked Mo Qingyun, "There must be at least a few 100,000 primordial stones in here, right?" Mo Qingyun nodded and replied, "Yes, there are 300,000 primordial stones in there." 300,000 primordial stones. After getting the exact number from Mo Qingyun, Mo Hongtian and the others were shocked, and their heartbeats accelerated. However, before Mo Hongtian and the others could recover from their shock, Mo Qingyun took out another scarlet crystal. An intent crystal. The red crystal that Mo Qingyun took out was actually a fire elemental arcane crystal. Looking at the profound crystals, Mo Hongtian, Mo Kuei-shin, and the rest of the true energy boundary cultivators became excited. With these profound crystals, their chances of breaking through to the Yuan Dan stage would increase by many times. After giving a portion of the profound crystals to Mo Hongtian, Mo Qingyun handed over some elixirs, weapons, and other items to Mo Hongtian. After receiving the items from Mo Qingyun, Mo Hongtian's elderly face was filled with excitement. He sighed, "I suddenly have a feeling that my years as the master of the Mo family have been in vain. If Mo Qid and the others didn't die, I'm afraid they would be scared out of their wits when they see these things." Mo Kueishin couldn't help but sigh. Now that I think about it, Mo Qid and the others were really short-sighted. They actually thought that Qingyun was inferior to Mo Song. At this moment, some of the second-generation members of the Mo family started to look at the dead Mo Qid and the others with disdain. After seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun didn't say much. He said to Mo Hongtian, "Grandfather, I still have some matters to attend to. I might have to leave the Azure Jade Mansion for a few days." Leave the Azure Jade Mansion for a few days? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian immediately showed concern and asked, "Is the place you're going far? Is it dangerous?" In response to Mo Hongtian and the others' worries, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and comforted them. "Grandfather, you don't have to worry. I'm going out this time to collect some debts." "Collect debts?" Mo Hongtian and the others were puzzled and looked at Mo Qingyun in confusion. Mo Qingyun's face darkened and he said coldly, "It's time to settle the debts that the Song and he families owe our Mo family." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian and the others' faces darkened and they all said, "That's right, the Song and he families owe us. It's time to settle the debts. We'll go with you." "That's right, we'll go with you." The others echoed one after another. After seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and said, "Now that the Mount Tai sect, the Heavenly Dragon sect, and the Shui family hate our Mo family to the core, I'm worried that if everyone goes together, they will ambush us along the way once they find out. Therefore, it's better for everyone to stay in the Azure Jade Mansion." Mo Qingyun's expression was solemn as he continued, "As for the matter of going to the Song clan, and he clan to collect the debt, Qi Lian and I will go together. In addition, if there's nothing else, it's best that everyone doesn't leave Bu Mansion for a period of time. Bu Mansion is guarded by City Lord Wan's guards, so it's safer here. All right, you must be careful along the way to Northern Desert Town." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Mo family members did not insist. They knew that if they followed Mo Qingyun, they would only cause more trouble for him. After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with the crowd for a while before leaving the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian and heading to Northern Desert Town. This time, after Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian left Lian City, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were shocked. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, the Mount Tai sect, the Heavenly Dragon sect, and the Shui family did not pursue him. However, Mo Qingyun did not mind this. This way, they would have an easier time on the road. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at Northern Desert Town. After arriving at Northern Desert Town, Mo Qingyun did not immediately go to the Song and he families. Instead, he and Qi Lian went to a hotel to rest. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, the Song and he families would not be able to escape in a short time, so it was fine to go later. After entering the hotel, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian went straight to the second floor and found an inconspicuous place to sit down. "Have you heard? Song Wenyun from the Song family was chosen by Yuan Dan realm expert from the Shui family in Lianyun City and was taken in as a disciple." "I've heard about it. I also heard that Shangxiao from the He family was also chosen by Yuan Dan realm expert from the Shui family and was taken in as a disciple. Wow, they are so lucky to be chosen by Yuan Dan realm expert and be taken in as a disciple. If that's the case, they will soar into the sky and have a bright future ahead of them. Of course, to be taken in as a disciple by Yuan Dan realm expert is a stroke of good luck. In my opinion, even if Mo Qingyun comes back now, he will not be a match for Song Wenyun and He Shangxiao. Now that Song Wenyun and He Shangxiao are both at LV7 True Chi realm, I think they can kill Mo Qingyun with just a finger. Besides, would Mo Qingyun dare to come back? Now that there are several Yuan Dan realm experts from the Shui family waiting for him, I guarantee that he will not be able to return. In an instant, all kinds of conversations were heard by Mo Qingyun. Song Wenyun and He Shengqiao were taken in as disciples by Yuan Dan realm expert from the Shui family. Hearing the conversation below, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up, revealing a playful smile. Get out of the way, all of you. Just then, as the crowd was talking, a rude and unreasonable voice came from outside the hotel. Then, Mo Qingyun saw two arrogant young men, surrounded by a group of lackeys, walk into the hotel. Seeing these two people arrive, the people at the side immediately showed a look of reverence and consciously moved to the side. Look, that's Song Wenyun and He Shengqiao. How impressive. Becoming a disciple of a Yuan Dan realm expert is indeed different. Seeing Song Wenyun and He Shengqiao surrounded by lackeys, the people around them were envious. Seeing the crowd's awe and admiration, Song Wenyun and He Shengqiao raised their heads proudly and walked up to the second floor of the hotel with arrogant faces. When they reached the second floor of the hotel, Song Wenyun raised his head with an arrogant expression and pointed at the people on the second floor of the hotel. Get them out of here in 10 breaths. If they don't leave, break their legs and throw them down. Very quickly, the two people in the hotel were chased away by the lackeys and left the second floor of the hotel in fright. Chapter 130. Seeing that all the guests on the second floor had been chased away by Song Wenyun and the others, the hotel owner immediately panicked. Young Master Wenyun, young Master Shengqiao, if you do this, how can my small shop continue to do business? After a while, the hotel owner came to Song Wenyun with a bitter face and complained, My business is a small one. I can't afford to be tormented like this. Please forgive this little old man. Shut up. Do you believe that if you say another word, we'll tear down your shop? Hearing the hotel owner's words, one of Song Wenyun and the other man's followers scolded the hotel owner with a darkened face. Hearing the words of the follower, the hotel owner almost cried. His face was filled with grievance. Because of Song Wenyun and the others, he was afraid that he would lose a large sum of money. Today's business was probably for nothing. Hey, don't be rude. Seeing the actions of the follower beside him, He Shengqiao raised his hand and stopped the follower's actions. Then, He Shengqiao took out a chinquin bag and poured out about a few thousand gold coins. He said to the hotel owner, Boss, this money should be enough to book the entire second floor, right? Get those two out of here right now. At this moment, the people on the second floor had all left. Only Mo Qingyun and the other man were still sitting there, giving off a very conspicuous feeling. After hearing He Shengqiao's words, the hotel owner revealed a troubled expression. He slowly walked towards Mo Qingyun and the other man and begged, The two of you, I'm really sorry. Young Master Shengqiao has already booked the entire second floor. I beg you to leave the second floor now and don't make things too difficult for me. As compensation, some of your expenses today will be free. Kid, did you hear that? The boss already told you to get lost. Get out of the second floor now. Hearing the words of the hotel owner, He Shengqiao's face immediately revealed a pleased expression and he mocked Mo Qingyun. Booking the entire second floor can make the others get lost? Seeing He Shengqiao's actions, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a playful smile. He also took out a chinquin bag from his chest. Walala, then, everyone saw gold coins falling out of the chinquin bag one by one. Not long after, a small mountain of money appeared beside Mo Qingyun. The amount was probably in the hundreds of thousands. This money should be enough to book your entire hotel, right? Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. Enough. Enough. Looking at the small mountain of gold coins in front of him, the hotel owner was shocked. He swallowed his saliva and his heart raced. This money is enough to buy the entire restaurant, let alone the entire hotel. After replying to Mo Qingyun, the tavern owner started to collect the gold coins. At the same time, he told Mo Qingyun, Sir, the Mo restaurant is now yours. You could do whatever you want. Hee, I see. After hearing the tavern owner's words, the playful smile on Mo Qingyun's face deepened. He looked at Song Wenyun and the others and said playfully, "My tavern doesn't welcome you." Scram. You don't welcome you? Scram. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun was going to challenge Song Wenyun, and he Sheng Qiao. This brat is so arrogant. He actually dares to ask young Master Sheng Qiao and the others to scram. But this brat is too rich. He casually threw out hundreds of thousands of gold coins and bought the entire hotel. Yeah, he's too overbearing, too arrogant, too stylish. It would be great if he took a fancy to me. You? Save it. It's more likely that he'll take a fancy to me. I like overbearing, rich, and foolish men. For a moment, everyone sighed. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Song Wenyun and the others' expressions darkened. They said to the tavern owner, "Boss, didn't you hear what we said just now?" Hearing Song Wenyun's words, the tavern owner showed an apologetic expression. He said fearfully, "Young masters, I'm just a small businessman. Please don't make things difficult for me. Right now, my tavern has been bought by this young master at high price. If you want to eat, you should talk to this young master." After saying that, the tavern owner tactfully walked to the side and prepared to leave. When Song Wenyun and he Sheng Qiao heard the tavern owner's words, their expressions immediately turned ugly. Although the tavern owner's words were unintentional, they were just expressing his inner thoughts. But when Song Wenyun and he Sheng Qiao heard it, they felt that the tavern owner was mocking them. "You're courting death." When this thought appeared, Song Wenyun's face darkened. He ordered his followers, "Drag this guy out and beat him to death." "Yes, young Master Wenyun." Hearing Song Wenyun's order, the followers immediately responded and surrounded the tavern owner. Seeing the actions of Song Wenyun and the others, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He coldly snorted, "This is my territory. It's not up to you to behave atrociously." As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun's body moved. He slammed his palm down on Song Wenyun's followers, sending them flying. "You can leave now." After sending the followers flying, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at the tavern owner, indicating that he should leave immediately. He was very satisfied with the tavern owner's words of ridicule towards Song Wenyun. "Brat, you're courting death." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Song Wenyun and he Sheng Qiao's expressions turned sinister. They looked at Mo Qingyun and gnashed their teeth. "I don't care who you are. Today, I'll break your dog legs and cripple your cultivation. Then, I'll make you kneel in front of me and serve me tea and wine. Break my dog legs, cripple my cultivation, and make me serve you tea and wine." Hearing Song Wenyun's words, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said, "I'd like to see how you'll break my legs, cripple my cultivation, and make me serve you tea and wine. Brat, you should thank our young Master Wenyun for his kindness. If it were me, I'd chop you into pieces and feed you to the dogs." At this moment, one of Song Wenyun's followers said arrogantly to Mo Qingyun, "Puff." However, before he could finish his words, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground with his eyes wide open. He died with a grievance. Seeing this scene, everyone's faces changed, and they all revealed looks of horror. Seeing one of his followers killed, Song Wenyun was stunned. Then, he replied to Mo Qingyun with disdain, "Brat, no wonder you dare to be so arrogant. It turns out that you have helpers hiding in the dark." In his opinion, the death of his follower should have been caused by a sneak attack from Mo Qingyun's helper. "Helpers hiding in the dark?" Mo Qingyun smirked and replied disdainfully, "You think too highly of yourselves. There's no need to go through so much trouble to deal with a few of you." "Oomph, you talk big." Song Wenyun snorted disdainfully and said to the followers behind him, "Go break this brat's legs. I'd like to see how long those fellows hiding in the dark can hide." Song Wenyun believed that as long as he took care of Mo Qingyun, those people hiding in the dark would definitely be forced out. "Yes, young Master Wenyun." Hearing Song Wenyun's words, the followers at the side immediately nodded and surrounded Mo Qingyun and Song Wenyun. Bang, bang, bang. But what surprised Song Wen-yun was that as soon as his followers approached Mo Qingyun, they were sent flying with a single punch from Mo Qingyun, sending 4 or 5 people at the first level of the true energy realm flying with a single punch. It seemed that Mo Qingyun's cultivation had at least reached the 3rd level of the true energy realm. After this discovery, Song Wen-yun's expression changed slightly, and he said with some surprise, "Brat, I've underestimated you. I didn't expect you to be at the 3rd level of the true energy realm. However, your ability is still insufficient in front of me." 3rd level of the true energy realm? Chapter 131. I know who he is. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun, Song Wen-yun, and He Shengqiao were confronting each other, a loud shout suddenly came from inside the hotel. "Who is he? Who? Quick, quick, tell us." Hearing that person's words, the crowd in the hotel all started to urge that person. After knowing Mo Qingyun's identity, this person's face was filled with excitement as he replied to the crowd, He is Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun. He is Mo Qingyun." Hearing this person's words, the expressions of everyone in the hotel changed, and they were all shocked. Now, everyone in northern desert town knew that the He and Song families were trying their best to capture Mo Qingyun. Who would have thought that Mo Qingyun would dare to return to northern desert town? He was too bold. Mo Qingyun? Hearing the words of the people in the hotel, Song Wen-yun and He Shengqiao were stunned for a moment before they sneered. Song Wen-yun sneered, "Kid, I didn't think that you were Mo Qingyun. You have some guts. We were worried that we couldn't find you, but you actually dared to return to northern desert town. Kid, if I were you, I would have run away with my tail between my legs after seeing us." He Shengqiao sneered and added, "But after seeing us, not only did you not run away, you even dared to provoke us. I think you must be tired of living. However, it's too late for you to run away now. It's not like we won't let you run away." Run away? Hearing Song Wen-yun and He Shengqiao's words, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully and said, "Why should I run away? With your strength, you two are not qualified to make me run away." He Shengqiao looked disdainfully at Mo Qingyun and said disdainfully, "It's useless to just talk. It's only been a few months since the ancestor worship ceremony. At that time, you were only at the 2nd level of the true energy realm. No matter how amazing your cultivation talent is, in my opinion, your current cultivation shouldn't be higher than the 4th level of the true energy realm, right? Not higher than the 4th level of the true energy realm." Hearing He Shengqiao's deduction, the corners of Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed, and his playful smile deepened. "A mere 4th level of the true energy realm dares to be so arrogant in front of the two of us? I think you really don't know what's good for you." After spitting out disdainful words at Mo Qingyun, Song Wen-yun urged He Shengqiao, "All right, don't waste words with this brat. Let's cripple him and bring him back for Master to deal with." "Okay." He Shengqiao nodded. Then, He Shengqiao and Song Wen-yun began to attack Mo Qingyun. They sneered, "Mo Qingyun, you didn't immediately run for your life after encountering us. This will be the greatest mistake of your life." At this moment, not only did He Shengqiao and the other man not summon their martial spirits when they attacked Mo Qingyun, they did not even use any martial skills. From this, it could be seen how much they disdained Mo Qingyun's strength. You think too highly of yourselves. Seeing Song Wen-yun and the other man's actions, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and coldly yelled, "Kneel!" When Mo Qingyun yelled, he released the profound of earth and suppressed Song Wen-yun and the other man. Bang bang. Faced with the sudden pressure of gravity, Song Wen-yun and the other man immediately lost their footing and fell in front of Mo Qingyun. How? How can this be? How did your strength become so strong? Such an unforeseen event caused Song Wen-yun and the other man's expressions to change, revealing a trace of panic. At this moment, such a strange situation was truly beyond their expectations. After seeing Mo Qingyun's methods, they became more wary of Mo Qingyun in their hearts. 9 heavy crash, at this moment, Just as He Sheng Chao and the other man were in shock, Mo Qingyun threw a punch at them. Bang bang. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, Song Wenyun and the other man were directly sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. Puff! After the two of them landed, they spat out blood and their faces turned pale. Their auras rapidly weakened. No, my Dantian, my cultivation. Lying on the ground, Song Wenyun and the other man felt their cultivation dissipating and yelled crazily. This punch of Mo Qingyun's directly blasted apart the two's dantians, turning them into cripples. Crack, crack. However, before He Sheng Chao and the other man could recover from the sorrow of having their cultivation destroyed, they felt a sharp pain in their legs. At this moment, their legs were also broken by Mo Qingyun. My legs. Seeing that their legs were destroyed, Song Wenyun and the other man went crazy again. Their eyes were bloodshot and they were on the verge of breaking down. With a crazed expression, Song Wenyun yelled at Mo Qingyun, "Mo Qingyun, our master will not let you off for treating us like this." However, Mo Qingyun did not take his words to heart and said nonchalantly, "Don't worry, after I finish my meal, I will bring you to see your master." With that, Mo Qingyun shouted to the waiter downstairs, "Waiter, serve the dishes." "Yes, manager." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the waiter on the first floor was in awe and replied to Mo Qingyun. Now that Mo Qingyun had bought the entire restaurant, the waiter changed the way he addressed him. After a while, the waiter served the dishes. After the food and wine were served, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. He looked at Song Wenyun and said, "Didn't you say earlier that you wanted to break my legs and cripple my Dantian, and then make me serve you tea and wine? Now, I will give you a chance. If you can live a little longer, you will serve me tea and wine now. Kid, don't even think about it. Even if you kill me, don't expect me to serve you tea and wine." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Song Wenyun raised his head and said arrogantly, "Then you can go to hell." Seeing Song Wenyun's behavior, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and he raised his hand to chop him down. Then a 5-meter-long scarlet flame blade condensed in Mo Qingyun's palm and slashed Song Wenyun's body, killing him instantly. Hiss! Seeing Mo Qingyun's decisive action, everyone in the restaurant sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at him in awe. Mo Qingyun had actually killed Song Wenyun, and he had done it in such a straightforward manner. Mo Qingyun's action was completely out of everyone's expectations. He Sheng Chao was so scared that his face turned pale and his body trembled. He looked at Mo Qingyun with fear in his eyes. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and asked He Sheng Chao, "Do you think the same as him?" No, I will serve you wine now." After hearing this, He Sheng Chao immediately endured the pain and came to Mo Qingyun's side and poured wine for Mo Qingyun. Seeing He Sheng Chao's actions, everyone felt a sense of irony. In a short while, Mo Qingyun and He Sheng Chao's roles were completely reversed. After about an hour, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian had eaten and drunk their fill. "Take him. We will go meet the Song and He clan." After that, Mo Qingyun stood up and spoke to Qi Lian, and then he led the way down the stairs. "Yes, young lord." After hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, Qi Lian picked up He Sheng Chao like he was picking up a chicken and followed behind Mo Qingyun. After walking downstairs, Mo Qingyun stopped in front of someone and smiled mockingly. "You said before that Song Wenyun and He Sheng Chao could easily kill me with a finger?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, this person's face turned pale and cold sweat poured down his forehead. He quickly waved his hand and said, "No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was that if you want to kill Song Wenyun and He Sheng Chao, you only need to move your finger." After hearing this person's answer, Mo Qingyun glanced at him and walked out of the restaurant, ignoring this person. Too terrifying. Chapter 132. After Mo Qingyun left the hotel, he went straight to the Song and He family. After seeing Mo Qingyun leave, some of the braver people in the hotel secretly followed Mo Qingyun. They wanted to see how Mo Qingyun would perform when he arrived at the Song and He family. Although Mo Qingyun immediately noticed the people following behind him, he did not say anything and let them go. As the He family was closer to the hotel where Mo Qingyun had his meal, Mo Qingyun arrived at the He family first. After about 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun and the other two arrived outside the He family's mansion. "Who are you people?" Seeing Mo Qingyun and the other two arrive, the He family's guard's face darkened. He said coldly, "This is the He family's mansion. If there's nothing else, leave immediately. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude." As He Shengqiao was being tortured badly by Mo Qingyun, the He family's guards did not recognize him immediately. At this moment, before the guard could finish his sentence, Mo Qingyun struck out with his palm. Bang, bang, bang. These few guards were only in the body-tempering realm. Faced with Mo Qingyun's attack, they did not even have the chance to resist before they were sent flying into the He family's mansion by Mo Qingyun. As the few guards were sent flying into the He family's mansion, the He family's people immediately noticed the commotion at the entrance and rushed over. "How dare you cause trouble in the He family's mansion?" After an angry shout, Mo Qingyun saw a few figures appear in front of him. These people were none other than the He family's old master, He Qiansheng, and a few elders of the He family. Of course, other than the He family's people, there was also a cold and arrogant elder standing in front of the He family's people. After seeing this person, Mo Qingyun quickly guessed his identity. He should be the elder of the Shui family. "Young man from the Mo family, it's you." When He Qiansheng and the others saw that the person in front of them was Mo Qingyun, they were all shocked. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to really dare to seek revenge in the He family's mansion. Even more so, they did not expect Mo Qingyun to seek revenge so quickly. "Family head, elder, master, save me." At this moment, while He Qiansheng and the others were shocked, He Shengqiao, who was in Qi Lian's hands, cried out for help weakly. "Shengqiao." When they heard He Shengqiao's voice, He Qiansheng and the others noticed he's crippled in Qi Lian's hands. "Young man from the family, you've gone too far." They Shengqiao's family members' family. He Qiansheng was their He clan's genius, and he was fancied by the Shui clan's origin core realm elder. He was the hope of their He clan's rise. They did not expect that Mo Qingyun would cripple He Shengqiao and destroy their family's hope. After a short moment of anger, He Qiansheng's face darkened. He said coldly to Mo Qingyun, "Young man from the family, I admire your courage to seek revenge in our family. However, today, we will not let you leave. Your life will be in Shengqiao's hands. You don't have the ability to do that." Hearing He Qiansheng's words, Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently. "We know that you're relying on this half-step Yuan Dan realm expert beside you." He Qiansheng smiled coldly and said slowly, "If it was in the past, our family would have a headache facing him. However, it's different now. Elder Shui Wang from the Shui family of Lianyan City is in our family." He Qiansheng sneered and said, "You may not know, but Elder Shui Wang is a true Yuan Dan realm expert. Today, I will make you and the red-haired old man beside you stay here. So what if you're in the Yuan Dan realm?" Looking at He Qiansheng's proud face, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and said disdainfully, "I remember that the Shui family has an elder called Shui Zhuang who is also in the Yuan Dan realm. In the end, he was crippled by my fist." "Young man, you're able to cripple Elder Shui Zhuang? Aren't you afraid of slapping your own tongue?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shui Wang's face darkened, and he looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. "Elder Shui Wang, this young man is full of tricks. There's no need to talk nonsense with him." He Qiansheng said to Shui Wang, "Elder Shui Wang, I'll have to trouble you to deal with the red-haired old man. Leave this young man to us." "Okay." Hearing He Qiansheng's words, Shui Wang nodded and stood up to attack Qi Lian. Purple lightning, sacred hand. Shui Wang attacked with all his strength. He directly used a martial skill and attacked Qi Lian with his palm. When Shui Wang's palm struck down, a surge of origin energy mixed with lightning formed a palm shadow and attacked Qi Lian. Looking at Elder Shui Wang's attack, Qi Lian curled his lips and said disdainfully, "This level of attack is far inferior to Shui Jinyang's. Let me send you on your way." Boom! As Qi Lian's words fell, a shocking aura erupted from his body, causing the dust in the surroundings to fly into the air. Third level of Yuan Dan realm. The red-haired old man beside Mo Qingyun was actually an old man at the third level of Yuan Dan realm. After seeing this result, everyone was instantly stunned. This result was completely out of their expectations. How is this possible? Isn't the old man beside Mo Qingyun a half-step into Yuan Dan realm? He Qiansheng and many other elders of the He family were in disbelief. Third level of Yuan Dan realm. How powerful is that? No wonder Mo Qingyun is not afraid of Song Wenyun and Shui Jinyang. At this moment, the people who came from the hotel finally understood why Mo Qingyun was not afraid of Song Wenyun and Shui Jinyang. At this moment, while everyone was shocked by Qi Lian's cultivation, Qi Lian raised his hand and attacked Shui Wang. Blood-devouring demonic palm. Then, everyone saw a huge blood-red palm shadow descend from the sky and attack Shui Wang. Yui clan, you actually dared to deceive this old man. After this matter, I will definitely annihilate your He clan. Seeing the power of Qi Lian's attack, Shui Wang was immediately furious. He felt that He Qiansheng and the others were lying to him. It was understandable that Shui Wang would misunderstand. After all, Qi Lian's cultivation was too far away from the half-step into Yuan Dan realm that He Qiansheng had mentioned. Bang! Under Qi Lian's attack, Shui Wang was unable to resist and was blasted into the ground with a loud bang. After that, the crowd saw that an enormous crater had appeared where Shui Wang had been blasted into the ground. At this moment, Shui Wang's clothes were ragged and he was lying there motionless. No one knew if he was dead or alive. He didn't have the awe-inspiring aura from before. Master actually couldn't even withstand a single blow from this red-haired old man. When He Shengqiao saw that Qi Lian's casual palm strike had beaten his master half to death, He Shengqiao was immediately stunned. His face turned pale. He really found it hard to accept. His master, who was as powerful as a god in his heart, was actually unable to receive a single move from Crimson Lotus. This kind of result could be said to be a huge blow to He Shengqiao. Shui Wang, a Yuan Dan realm expert, was almost killed by Qi Lian's attack. The faces of the He clan's people all turned pale. At that moment, his face was filled with despair. They knew that Shui Wang's defeat also meant that their He family was finished. Kill them all. In the face of He Qiansheng and the others' despair, Mo Qingyun did not soften his heart. He directly instructed Qi Lian. Yes, young lord. When he heard Mo Qingyun's order, Qi Lian did not hesitate. He immediately raised his hand and attacked He Qiansheng and the others. Stop! At that moment, just as Qi Lian attacked, a beautiful figure ran out from the He clan's residence. Chapter 133. Qingyun, I know I was wrong. Can you please let the He family off for the sake of our past relationship? He Lingyu walked out with a miserable expression and begged Mo Qingyun, if you're willing, we can start over. Let the He family off? Start over? Hearing He Lingyu's words, Mo Qingyun looked at her with disdain and said coldly, He Lingyu, you think too highly of yourself. Actually, you're nothing in my heart. Besides, once you miss something, you'll never be able to go back to where you started. For the sake of our past relationship, I'll end your life with my own hands, Mo Qingyun said flatly, looking at He Lingyu calmly. He Lingyu's face turned pale when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Despair flashed across her eyes. Then, He Lingyu smiled miserably with tears in her eyes and said, It's good that I die at your hands. Do it. Mo Qingyun raised his right hand and pointed at He Lingyu. Then, a few soul battle seals were released and blasted into He Lingyu's mind, destroying her soul. As soon as her soul was destroyed, the light in He Lingyu's eyes slowly faded. Then, her body went limp and fell to the ground. After killing He Lingyu, an indescribable emotion suddenly appeared in Mo Qingyun's heart, making him feel irritated. Immediately, Mo Qingyun was somewhat impatient as he said to Qi Lian, "Quickly finish off everyone." "Yes, young lord." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian didn't hold back anymore and attacked the He family with all his might. The He family's highest cultivation was only at the 8th or 9th level of the true energy realm. Facing Qi Lian, who was at the 3rd level of the Yuan Dan realm, they were slaughtered like sheep. Soon, the entire He family was covered in blood. Not a single person was left alive. I didn't expect you to still have a lingering will in your body. After Qi Lian killed everyone from the He clan, Mo Qingyun knew the source of the inexplicable frustration. He sighed inwardly and said, "I've killed Song Ziheo and He Lingyu for you. You should let go of your obsession." As soon as Mo Qingyun said this, that indescribable feeling gradually dissipated. As the obsession of his predecessor dissipated, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt that his state of mind seemed to have suddenly become clear. In addition, Mo Qingyun also discovered that his soul cultivation seemed to have improved. In the blink of an eye, he had reached the peak of the illusory realm, only one step away from the spirit origin realm. This discovery delighted Mo Qingyun. He said in a deep voice, "From today onwards, I am Mo Qingyun. Everyone from the He clan is dead." Looking at the slaughtered He clan, He Shengqiao was immediately stunned. He stared blankly at the He residence that was dyed red with blood. "Since the He residence has been destroyed, you can go with them." As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and slashed down at He Shengqiao. Then a 5-meter-long scarlet saber light landed on He Shengqiao's body, killing him. "Let's go." Seeing that the He residence had been destroyed, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer. He got up and headed toward the Song residence. The Song residence and the He residence were not very far away. After an hour, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the Song residence. After arriving at the Song residence, Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with the Song residence. He directly killed his way in. Bang, bang, bang. Under Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's powerful attacks, the Song residence guards were directly blasted into the residence. No one knew if they were dead or alive. Who dares to cause trouble in the Song residence? Are you tired of living? Seeing that the guards were blasted into the residence, and no one knew if they were dead or alive, the Song residence was immediately enraged. Soon, Song Su and the rest appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. They glared at Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. "Mo Qingyun, it's you." When they saw that the person who came to cause trouble was actually Mo Qingyun, the Song residence was stunned. They were somewhat surprised. After being stunned for a short while, Song Su and the rest sneered and said, "Mo Qingyun, we were worried that we wouldn't be able to find you. I didn't expect you to be so reckless as to deliver yourself to our doorstep." Song Su sneered and said, "I'm afraid you don't know that the Lianyun City Shui clan specially left Elder Shuiyu in the Song residence to deal with you." In Song Su's opinion, Mo Qingyun's arrival at this moment was no different from delivering himself into a trap. However, when Mo Qingyun heard his words, his face was indifferent. He said calmly, "Just now, the He clan's people said the same thing. However, in the end, Elder Shui Wang of the Shui clan was slaughtered by us." "Elder Shui Wang was slaughtered by you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Song Su and the rest immediately laughed as if they had heard the funniest joke. "Kid, even if you want to brag, you should know your limits. Do you know what Elder Shui Wang's cultivation is?" "Elder Shui Wang's cultivation is at the Yuan Dan realm. You think you're a match for Elder Shui Wang." At this moment, while Song Su and the rest were laughing disdainfully, a shocking aura came crashing down on them. After feeling this aura, they were all like ducks that had their throats pinched. Their faces flushed red, and they couldn't make a sound. 3rd level Yuan Dan realm. The red-haired old man beside Mo Qingyun was actually an expert at the Yuan Dan realm. In that case, what Mo Qingyun said just now was true. Elder Shui Wang really died in their hands. You really killed Elder Shui Wang?" When this thought appeared, Song Su and the rest were terrified. They looked at Mo Qingyun and Chiyu with fear. You'll know when you get down there. At this moment, Mo Qingyun rarely answered Song Su and the rest questions. After replying, he said to Chiyu, "Kill all of them." "Yes, young lord." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chiyu nodded and attacked Shuiyu and the Song clan's people. Bang, bang, bang. Facing Chiyu and Mount Tai's oppressive aura, the Song clan's people were sent flying one by one. They fell to the ground with heavy injuries. Pooh! After a while, the Shui clan's elder, Shuiyu, was also sent flying by Chiyu. He fell to the ground with heavy injuries and spat out blood. At this moment, when Chiyu was about to kill Shuiyu, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He had a plan to deal with the Shui clan. "Chiyu, spare Shuiyu's life. I still have a use for it." After this thought appeared, Mo Qingyun ordered Chiyu. "Okay." Hearing Mo Qingyun's orders, Chiyu nodded and attacked the rest of the Song clan's people. A few minutes later, everyone in the Song clan followed in the footsteps of the He clan. Everyone was slaughtered. Mo Qingyun would not show mercy to his enemies. After Chiyu killed everyone in the Song clan, Mo Qingyun ordered Chiyu to refine Shuiyu into a blood slave. Shuiyu greets Master and young Master Qingyun. After being refined into a blood slave by Chiyu, Shuiyu bowed respectfully to Mo Qingyun and Chiyu. When he saw Shuiyu's reaction, Mo Qingyun's smile widened even further. When Chiyu saw Mo Qingyun's arrangement, he quickly understood Mo Qingyun's thoughts. He asked tentatively, "Master, are you planning to take over the Shui clan?" "Yes." Mo Qingyun didn't hide the fact that Qi Lian had guessed his thoughts. After all, he still needed Qi Lian to be the main contributor to this matter. Let's go back to Lianyun's city. Seeing that the Song clan and He clan had been destroyed, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer. After instructing Chiyu, he stood up and walked out of the Song clan's mansion, heading back to Lianyun city. After Mo Qingyun and the other two left the northern desert town, everyone in the northern desert town sighed in their hearts. They did not expect that in just one day, the two strongest clans in the northern desert town would be destroyed by a junior like Mo Qingyun. Chapter 134. Half a day later, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian returned to the Azure Jade Mansion together. As for Elder Shuiyu, Mo Qingyun asked him to get out of the car and return to the Shui family to recuperate when they were about to reach Lianyun City. Elder Shuiyu was now a chess piece that Mo Qingyun had planted in the Shui family. He planned to use Elder Shuiyu to make the Shui family a mere figurehead. After Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian returned to the Azure Jade Mansion, they began to cultivate in seclusion. In the past few days of fighting, Qi Lian had collected a lot of blood essence. He wanted to refine all of it to increase his cultivation. After Mo Qingyun had gotten rid of the obsession of his predecessor, his soul power had increased tremendously. He needed to stabilize it. Now that the Mo family had three enemies, the Shui family, the Sky Dragon sect, and the Mount Tai sect, he did not dare to slack off. He needed to increase his cultivation as soon as possible. Mo Hongtian and the others also began to cultivate in seclusion after receiving the profound crystals from Mo Qingyun. Now that they had the profound crystals, their cultivation could quickly enter the Yuan Dan realm. Why would they waste time? The younger generation of the Mo family also began to cultivate diligently, perhaps because they were worried that Mo Qingyun would leave them in the dust. Even Mo Xian and the other girls began to cultivate diligently. After calculating the time, Mo Qingyun realized that he had not seen them for a few months. Mo Qingyun was very willing to see everyone's hard work in cultivation. He knew very well that he would have to leave the Mo family sooner or later. After all, there were still many things waiting for him to solve in a faraway place. If the Mo family could become stronger before he left and have the ability to protect themselves, he would feel more at ease when he left. In the house, Mo Qingyun cast aside all distracting thoughts and immersed himself in cultivation. The first thing Mo Qingyun chose to cultivate was to stabilize his soul power. Next, Mo Qingyun began to condense his soul power. Under his continuous refinement, his soul power slowly became more solid. If others were to see Mo Qingyun's soul power, they would definitely be shocked. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's spiritual strength was actually slowly transforming from a mist-like state to a liquid state, turning into gray lines of water. As his soul power was condensed, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body gradually became stronger, forming an invisible pressure. 5 days later, Mo Qingyun, who had been cultivating all this while, opened his eyes. My soul power has finally stabilized at the peak of the void realm. With his cultivation stabilized, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed. A faint smile appeared on his face. Now that I'm facing more and more powerful enemies, I have to cultivate a few more powerful martial skills. Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed as he pondered about the increase in his strength. Although Swift Shadow Steps has reached the profound meaning level, it is only a profound rank martial technique. Its grade is still too low. I have to change it. Also, although 9-stage collapse is an Earth rank martial technique, it is still a little weak in terms of attack. I have to change it too. Now that I have comprehended the wind, earth, and fire profound meanings, I can choose a martial technique from this aspect. Mo Qingyun pondered in his heart. For the fire profound meaning, there are 2 martial techniques: Sun Burning Mountain Splitting Blade and Fire Dragon Seal. For the wind profound meaning, I have to choose a movement martial technique. As for the earth profound meaning, I have to choose an offensive martial technique. It doesn't seem strong enough. I have to consider it carefully. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He had a direction in his heart. That's right. If I want to borrow the power of the Pill Palace, I have to have a strong physical body. For the earth profound meaning, cultivating a body, refining martial technique, is not bad. After thinking about it this way, Mo Qingyun made a decision. He started to choose a martial technique in his heart. After a round of selection, Mo Qingyun decided on the martial technique that he wanted to cultivate. Ferocious Bird Break, Heaven Grade Early Stage Martial Technique. Moves like the wind, fast as lightning. When running, it explodes with the power of a storm. Golden Jade True Body, Heaven Grade Middle Stage Martial Technique. When cultivated to the extreme, the physical body is incomparably tough. Swords and spears cannot penetrate it. Even the meridians in the body are as tough as golden jade. After deciding on the martial technique that he wanted to cultivate, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate anymore. He immediately started to cultivate it. The first martial technique that Mo Qingyun cultivated was the Ferocious Bird Break. After all, he already had the Swift Shadow Steps as a foundation. Relatively speaking, it was easier to learn. The great rock spreads its wings. The eagle soars the sky. The wild goose soars the sky. After recalling the incantation of the Ferocious Bird Break, Mo Qingyun started to cultivate. His body flashed in the courtyard. Boom! As Mo Qingyun cultivated again and again, the sound of wind and thunder emitted from his body became louder and louder. The power also became stronger and stronger. 10 days later, in Mo Qingyun's small courtyard. At this moment, the shadow of a true energy wing formed on Mo Qingyun's back. It made him look like a real ferocious bird. For a short period of time, he stood in the air. Following that, Mo Qingyun's body moved. Like an arrow, he shot toward a stone stool below him at an extremely fast speed. Bang! Under Mo Qingyun's attack, the stone stool was directly smashed into pieces. So strong. Just at the entry level, it already has such power. A heaven-grade martial technique is indeed not ordinary. Seeing that he only relied on his aura and did not use the power of ultimacy to have such power, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed. Soon after, Mo Qingyun once again entered into a state of cultivation. He cultivated tirelessly over and over again. As Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate, the movements of his cultivation became bigger and bigger. Pa 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 pa. At this moment, under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, some of the tiles on the courtyard's walls were directly shattered by his aura, making popping sounds. After this happened, it quickly attracted the attention of the people in the Azure Jade Mansion. Everyone rushed towards his small courtyard. Soon, Mo Hongtian and the others, who were not cultivating, arrived at Mo Qingyun's small courtyard one after another. What kind of martial technique is this brat cultivating? He actually has such a terrifying aura. Seeing Mo Qingyun's cultivation posture, Mo Hongtian and the others who had just arrived were all shocked. As Mo Hongtian and the others arrived, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He looked at them in surprise and asked, "Why are all of you here? Why are we here?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's innocent question, Mo Hongtian and the others were speechless. They did not know what to say. The reason why they came back was because of the huge commotion caused by his cultivation. At this moment, while everyone was speechless, Qi Lian laughed and said, "Young lord, you should be cultivating a heaven-grade martial technique, right?" "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded and did not deny it. Heaven-grade martial technique. When the Mo clan members heard this, their hearts trembled and their faces were filled with shock. In the past, the Mo clan did not even have an earth-grade martial technique. Not long ago, when Mo Qingyun gave Mo Hongtian and the others an earth-grade martial technique, they were all shocked. At this moment, Mo Qingyun actually said that he was cultivating a heaven-grade martial technique. This result shocked them greatly. Furthermore, looking at Mo Qingyun's current posture, it seemed like he had already succeeded in cultivating it. To be able to cultivate a heaven-grade martial technique so easily, Mo Qingyun's cultivation talent was really terrifying. Mo Hongtian and the others knew that the higher the grade of the martial technique, the harder it was to cultivate it. Not everyone could cultivate it successfully. "You little monkey, you even cultivated a heaven-grade martial technique. I'm afraid I'm no longer your opponent now." Seeing Mo Qingyun's achievements, Mo Feilin was gratified. He laughed and knocked on Mo Qingyun's shoulder. He was right. Although his cultivation had reached the true energy realm with Mo Qingyun's help, it was still not enough. In a real fight, the gap between his strength and Mo Qingyun's was still huge. Previously, I had a fortuitous encounter in the Burning Sky Sect's ruins and coincidentally obtained a few heaven-grade martial techniques. Mo Qingyun found an excuse to hide the origin of the martial techniques. He continued, "After I succeed in cultivating them, I will pass my cultivation experience and the original copy of the martial techniques to grandfather so that the rest of the clan can cultivate them." What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when Mo Hongtian heard Mo Qingyun's words, he smiled with gratification. "It's good that you have the heart. However, there is no need to give this heaven-ranked martial technique to us. This martial technique is not something that ordinary people can practice. In order to prevent the clan's brats from biting off more than they can chew, you should keep this martial technique for yourself." "That's good too." Hearing Mo Hongtian's words, Mo Qingyun did not say anything else. He nodded and agreed with Mo Hongtian's decision. Subsequently, Mo Hongtian and the others chatted with Mo Qingyun for a while before they left. Chapter 135. Young Lord, there's news from Shuiyu. He has recovered from his injuries, and we can carry out the plan now. After the Mo family members left, Qi Lian reported to Mo Qingyun. After hearing Qi Lian's report, Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "You can arrange this yourself. However, you have to do it step by step. Don't be too hasty and attract the attention of the Shui family." "Got it." Qi Lian nodded in response. After hearing Qi Lian's words, Mo Qingyun paused and said, "If the plan goes well, we can use the Shui family as a platform to continue infiltrating the Sky Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect after we control the entire Shui family." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian's eyes lit up and he looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration. Yes, young lord. If the plan was successful, it would be easy to destroy the Sky Dragon Triad and Mount Tai sect. After that, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian discussed the specific steps of the plan. Only then did Qi Lian leave his small courtyard. After Qi Lian left, Mo Qingyun entered into cultivation once more and began to set about cultivating the golden jade true body. True golden fire refinement, broken jade, intact tile, broken after destruction. After recalling the cultivation method of the golden jade real body, Mo Qingyun started to cultivate it. BZZT, BZZT. As he cultivated the golden jade real body, Mo Qingyun immediately felt the sound of glass shattering on his body. After this sound was heard, a heart-wrenching pain came from his body. It felt as if his muscles were being torn apart bit by bit, and salt was being sprinkled on them. Under the pain, Mo Qingyun's face twitched, and he let out a pained cry. Hang in there. However, Mo Qingyun did not give up. He silently encouraged himself to hang in there. If you don't give, you won't get anything in return. Just like that, with the support of his faith, Mo Qingyun pulled through bit by bit. During this torturous process, Mo Qingyun's forehead was also dripping with sweat. At the same time, Mo Qingyun's pores were also dripping with blood, dyeing his clothes red. After some time, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt that the pain in his body seemed to have lessened. At this moment, a gentle and warm current flowed through his body. This warm current was like a soft hand that was slowly soothing his wounds, making him feel very comfortable. As this warm current flowed, some black, oily substance began to flow out of Mo Qingyun's pores. This process lasted for several days before it gradually calmed down. At this moment, Mo Qingyun also slowly opened his eyes and stood up with a joyful expression. Golden Jade True Body has finally reached the beginner level. Feeling the qualitative change in his body, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with ecstasy. He was extremely excited. At that moment, he felt as if there was an endless amount of energy in his body. Now, he finally understood why some cultivators were so passionate about tempering their bodies. It turned out that after a breakthrough in one's physical strength, the feeling of joy after suffering was so wonderful. After a short moment of joy, Mo Qingyun saw the bloodstains on his clothes and the oily stains on his body. He immediately ordered the servants to bring him some water so that he could take a bath. After cleaning himself, Mo Qingyun slowly walked out of the small courtyard and went to the residence of Mo Hantian and the others. He told them that he was going to leave the Azure Jade Mansion to train alone and familiarize himself with his martial techniques. Why don't we let Qi Lao go with you? Hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Mo Hantian and the others tensed up and suggested worriedly, "There's no need. Qi Lao still has some matters to attend to." Hearing Mo Hantian and the others' words of concern, Mo Qingyun smiled and waved his hand. He comforted them. "Grandfather, you don't have to worry. I'm just going out to train and familiarize myself with my martial techniques. I'll be back soon. Since that's the case, be careful when you're alone." Seeing Mo Qingyun's insistence, Mo Hantian and the others could not persuade him otherwise. They nodded and agreed with Mo Qingyun's decision. After instructing Mo Qingyun and the others, Mo Qingyun found a secluded place and unleashed his martial soul super ability. Teleportation Gate. Appear. A whirlpool of light appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked in. Following this, Mo Qingyun felt his vision blur. He disappeared from where he was and appeared in front of a huge mountain range. Mo Qingyun was familiar with this mountain range. It was called the Black Gold Mountain in Lianyun City. It was named after a type of black gold stone. This Black Gold Mountain was Mo Qingyun's destination this time. It was the place where he would train his martial techniques. Following this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He stood up and walked into the Black Gold Mountain. Once Mo Qingyun entered the Black Gold Mountain, he immediately felt that his vision had become much dimmer. Mo Qingyun did not pay much attention to this. With the help of the dim light, he walked into the Black Gold Mountain. Roar! Not long after entering the Black Gold Mountain, Mo Qingyun encountered a demonic beast. It opened its bloody mouth and pounced on him. This demonic beast looked like a pig. However, it had a pair of eagle wings on its back. Its limbs were also similar to the claws of an eagle. Iron-winged golden pig. After seeing this demonic beast, Mo Qingyun immediately recognized its origin. A faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. This iron-winged golden pig was not very strong. It was only at the 7th level of the true energy realm. It was the most suitable training partner for him. Good timing. Seeing the iron-winged golden pig approaching, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He cheered and threw a punch at the iron-winged golden pig. Mo Qingyun did not use a trace of true energy in this punch. It was completely relying on the strength of his body to fight. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, the iron-winged golden pig did not retreat. It raised its 4 claws that looked like eagle claws and met Mo Qingyun's fist. Bang! Suddenly, a series of muffled sounds were heard. Mo Qingyun and the iron-winged golden pig were both shaken and forced to retreat. The body refining technique is indeed extraordinary. Seeing that he was able to fight the iron-winged golden pig at the 7th level of the true energy realm with just the strength of his body, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a look of ecstasy. Again, immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He took the initiative to attack the iron-winged golden pig, madly waving his fists at it. At this moment, Mo Qingyun seemed to be addicted to this most primitive way of fighting. He simply could not stop. Bang! After Mo Qingyun and the iron-winged golden pig exchanged blows again and again, the iron-winged golden pig finally could not withstand Mo Qingyun's attacks and was directly sent flying by Mo Qingyun's punch. Roar, roar! After taking a blow from Mo Qingyun, the iron-winged golden pig looked at Mo Qingyun with fear. It growled a few times and turned to flee. Buzz, buzz! The wings on the iron-winged golden pig's back quickly flapped, wanting to escape into the air. Want to run? It's not that easy. Seeing that the iron-winged golden pig wanted to escape, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up. He leaped up and chased after the iron-winged golden pig. Raptor break! Mo Qingyun's body leaped down, and a pair of true energy wings immediately appeared on his back. In the blink of an eye, he caught up with the iron-winged golden pig. Poochie! At this moment, while flying at extreme speed, Mo Qingyun's body was like a sharp knife, directly cutting through the iron-winged golden pig's body and penetrating it. As expected of a heaven-grade martial technique. Even if it's a body-refining technique, its attack power is quite shocking. After seeing the power of the raptor break, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy. He felt very satisfied. Chapter 136. 10 days later, in the Black Gold Mountain. Bang! A 16 or 17-year-old teenager punched a demonic beast with a bull's head and a snake's body, sending it crashing into the ground. Golden Jade Real Body has finally reached the initial level. After seeing the power of his punch, the teenager was overjoyed. He was very satisfied with the power of his punch. This teenager was none other than Mo Qingyun, who had been training in the Black Gold Mountain. Now that I have comprehended the fire, earth, and water ultimacy, the martial skill that I am practicing is also of these 3 attributes. Seeing that the Golden Jade Real Body had reached the initial level, Mo Qingyun started to think about how to increase his strength. If I integrate the 3 ultimacies into the martial skill, it should be able to increase the power of the martial skill. After having this thought, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately tried it out. The first martial skill that Mo Qingyun tried was the martial skill, Raptor Break. This martial skill was relatively easy to test out. Raptor Break. Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He moved his body and rushed forward. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's body rushed forward. Wherever he passed, the surrounding trees exploded. It is indeed much stronger. After testing it out, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed. Judging from the current situation, his speculation should be feasible. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately integrated the Earth Ultimacy into the Golden Jade Real Body. Golden Jade Real Body. Once the Golden Jade Real Body was used by Mo Qingyun, a shocking aura exploded from his body. Boom! Under this aura, the surrounding dust and tree branches were blown away, forming a cyclone. Not only that, under the pressure of gravity, the ground a few meters around Mo Qingyun was shaken and caved in. Could it be that the stronger the body, the stronger the Earth Ultimacy that can be used? Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw the destruction in front of him. He didn't expect such a result. However, this also made him even more curious about the effects of fusing the fire intent into the sun-incinerating mountain-splitting saber and the fire dragon seal. Fire dragon seal. After taking out the 27 genuine chi battle seals, Mo Qingyun immediately integrated the fire ultimacy into them. Then, the 27 genuine chi battle seals began to change. Before long, Mo Qingyun saw the 27 true energy battle seals slowly transform into 27 mini fire dragons. Roar, roar, roar. As soon as these mini fire dragons were formed, they let out a series of deep dragon roars. Their aura was very threatening. This is the real fire dragon seal. Mo Qingyun's expression changed as he looked at the 27 true chi battle seals in front of him. He was pleasantly surprised. Then, he became even more eager to see the effect of fusing the fire profound into the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber. Clang! As soon as Mo Qingyun integrated the fire profound into the sun-incinerating, mountain-splitting saber, the 5-meter-long flaming saber light immediately blazed with flames. At this moment, the flaming saber light was like a fire dragon, emitting a terrifying aura. The heat wave it emitted seemed to be able to devour everything. So powerful! After seeing this, Mo Qingyun's expression became joyful. He raised his hand and chopped at a huge rock in front of him. Boom! With a slash of the saber light, the huge rock was immediately split open and turned into a pile of powder. Not only that, if one looked closely, the pile of powdered rock was actually still burning. Since fusing the ultimacy into the martial skill is possible, then I should properly test its power. With this thought, Mo Qingyun got up and went deep into the Black Gold Mountain to look for demonic beasts to test the power of the martial skill after fusing the ultimacy. 3 days later, Chi, a peak LV9 true energy realm demonic beast with the head of a dog and the body of a toad, was killed by Mo Qingyun with a slash of his saber. After Mo Qingyun killed the demonic beast with a slash of his saber, the demonic beast with the head of a dog and the body of a toad was burned to ashes by the saber light. Now that I am familiar with these martial skills, it is time to go back. Seeing that he had achieved his initial goal, Mo Qingyun was not willing to stay any longer and prepared to return to Lianyan City. He thought to himself, the day after tomorrow is the day of the Cloud Sea Paradise competition. I should be able to make it if I go back now. I wonder how the matter of Qi Lian is progressing. With this thought, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer and immediately returned to Lianyan City. However, Mo Qingyun did not use the teleportation gate. Instead, he chose to travel on foot. After all, there were many people in the city. If someone saw him, it would not be good. Ren Wunpeng, the Heavenly Wolf Gang, found these golden stone green lotus moss first. If you know what is good for you, you better give it to us. Ma Guiyun, the world's treasures are known to those who are capable. If you want these golden stone green lotus moss, you will have to ask the weapon in my hand first. At this moment, as Mo Qingyun was walking quickly, a voice transmission entered his ears. Golden stone green lotus moss? Mo Qingyun revealed a trace of curiosity and looked over at the crowd. Senior Marshal Brother Ren, Senior Marshal Brother Ma, the two of us are friendly forces. We shouldn't fight each other. Seeing the two of them at daggers drawn, a thin youth in Ma Guiyun's group tried to persuade them. Since it is like this, Shui Jun, what do you think we should do? After hearing this youth's words, Ren Wanpeng and Ma Liyun's expressions changed, and they asked the youth. After hearing the two's question, Shuejun rolled his eyes and sneered as he pointed at Mo Qingyun, who was not far away, and said, "Senior brothers, there's a brat over there. Why don't you attack him together? The golden stone green lotus moss will belong to whoever kills him first. How about it?" "That is a good suggestion." After hearing Shuejun's words, Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng both nodded in agreement and immediately continued to attack Mo Qingyun. After hearing Shuejun's suggestion, a quick-witted girl with big eyes beside Shuejun said, "Shuejun, what you are doing is not right. After all, that person is innocent. Pei Yin, he is just a wild brat. If he dies, he dies." After hearing the words of the girl beside him, Shuejun did not care at all and glanced at Mo Qingyun with disdain. At this moment, while Shuejun and Pei Yin were talking, Ren Wanpeng and Ma Guiyun had already arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. "Ren Wanpeng, you will lose for sure." Looking at Ren Wanpeng behind him, Ma Guiyun had a smug smile on his face. He slashed his saber at Ren Wanpeng and sneered, "Brat, you are lucky to die in my hands. Remember my name. I am Ma Guiyun." Wave-breaking horizontal saber. As soon as Ma Guiyun finished speaking, he slashed his saber. Instantly, the saber chi was oppressive and the saber radiance was like a crescent moon as it slashed at Mo Qingyun. "Oomph. Ma Guiyun, you don't have to be so proud." Seeing Ma Guiyun's action, Ren Wanpeng's face immediately darkened. He sped up and stabbed at Mo Qingyun with his spear. Forward courageously, Ren Wanpeng's spear was like an arrow as it shot towards Mo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, Ren Wanpeng's body had overtaken Ma Guiyun, and his spear was aimed at Mo Qingyun's throat. "Ah!" When she saw this scene, Pei Yin cried out in alarm. She could not help but turn her head away. She did not dare to continue watching. Bang bang. Just when everyone thought that Mo Qingyun would definitely die in the hands of Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng, two muffled sounds were suddenly heard. Then, everyone saw Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng flying back. Puff! When the two of them landed on the ground, they spat out blood and their faces turned pale. They looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. How was this possible? After seeing this scene, the surrounding people were instantly stunned and could not believe their eyes. They really did not expect that the youth who looked to be only 16 or 17 years old would have such terrifying strength. One must know that Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng's cultivation had both reached true energy realm level 9. But even so, the two of them were still sent flying and seriously injured by Mo Qingyun's attack. After this discovery, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as they looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. Chapter 137. Who's going to kill me first? After sending Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng flying, Mo Qingyun smirked and looked at the two of them. Looking at Ma Guiyun and Ren Wanpeng, his eyes were filled with coldness, like a sharp sword. No, we were just joking with you." Under Mo Qingyun's cold gaze, Ma Guiyun squeezed out an awkward smile and smiled apologetically at Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he no longer had his previous attitude and looked like a slave. However, he couldn't be blamed. Mo Qingyun's strength was too strong. He had no choice but to admit defeat. Yes, we were just joking with you, just joking." Like Ma Guiyun, facing Mo Qingyun's cold gaze, Ren Wanpeng also acted like a slave and smiled apologetically. Mo Qingyun didn't care about their words at all. Looking at their cowardice, he revealed a look of disdain. "Are you joking?" Mo Qingyun smirked again and asked Ma Guiyun, "You're Ma Guiyun, right?" Yes. Ma Guiyun stuttered in panic. "Well, I'll remember your name." Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "Say your last words." Say your last words." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ma Guiyun's face turned pale and his mind went blank. He couldn't understand. They were talking nicely just now. Why did Mo Qingyun want to kill him in the blink of an eye? In panic, Ma Guiyun was tongue-tied and couldn't say a word. Since you have nothing to say, then die. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and slashed at Ma Guiyun, sending out a flaming blade of light. Puchi! Before Ma Guiyun could react, the flaming saber ray pierced through his chest. After his chest was pierced by the blade, Ma Guiyun's face was filled with despair. He raised his finger and pointed at Mo Qingyun, unable to say a word. After killing Ma Guiyun with one move, Mo Qingyun turned to Ren Wunpeng and said coldly, "It's your turn. Say your last words." Facing Mo Qingyun's cold and indifferent gaze, Ren Wunpeng's face was similarly filled with terror as he said in a panic, This friend, it was all a misunderstanding earlier. As long as you let me go, I will give you the golden stone green lotus moss. How about it? Give it to me." Mo Qingyun looked at Ren Wunpeng with disdain and said disdainfully, "You don't have the qualifications to give it to me. Also, let me tell you something. I want the item, and I want your life. Since you don't have any last words, you can die. Brat, you've gone too far. I'll fight it out with you." After hearing this, Ren Wunpeng's face immediately darkened. He rushed towards Mo Qingyun, wanting to fight it out with Mo Qingyun. Fight it out with you? Seeing Ren Wunpeng's actions, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and casually raised his hand to throw out a punch. Fire Dragon Seal. Under Mo Qingyun's attack, 27 mini-fire dragons immediately condensed and formed a fire shield that bit towards Ren Wunpeng. Facing the 27 mini-fire dragons, Ren Wunpeng was practically unable to resist. He was completely devoured and burned into a puff of black smoke. Hiss! Seeing the strongest two, Ma Guiyun and Ren Wunpeng, being instantly killed by Mo Qingyun, they were like little chicks in front of Mo Qingyun. At this moment, the other people at the side all revealed terrified expressions. They looked at Mo Qingyun with eyes full of reverence. The guy in front of them was too strong. Even a true energy realm expert couldn't compare to him. The other people at the side couldn't help but have such a thought. Looking at the panicking crowd, Mo Qingyun slowly walked towards them. He pointed at Xuejun and said, "You come here. You, what do you want?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xuejun panicked and his face turned pale. However, he didn't dare to approach Mo Qingyun. Seeing Xuejun's actions, Mo Qingyun didn't mind. He smiled playfully and said, "You just said that you wanted the two of them to kill me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Xuejun was immediately at a loss for words. He wanted to explain, but didn't know where to start. Seeing Xuejun's expression, Mo Qingyun looked at him coldly and ignored him. Then, Mo Qingyun looked at Pei Yin and smiled faintly. "You come here." Hearing Mo Qingyun call her, Pei Yin was shocked. She clenched her fists and walked towards Mo Qingyun with a tense expression. I'm sorry. I should have advised them not to lay their hands on you." Pei Yin had a guilty look on her face. She was shocked and scared at the same time. She apologized to Mo Qingyun. Her big eyes were filled with grievances. Looking at Pei Yin's guilty expression, Mo Qingyun could not help but be stunned. He did not know what to say. He called Pei Yin over to thank her. He didn't expect her to blame herself. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You don't have to be afraid. I won't lay my hands on you. I heard what you said to them just now." Mo Qingyun waved his hand at Pei Yin and thanked her with a smile. "I called you over to thank you for pleading on my behalf." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Pei Yin was shocked. She looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief and said, You want to thank me?" Looking at this mischievous girl, Mo Qingyun smiled bitterly and shook his head. He said, "Can I thank you?" Yes. Pei Yan's brain was like a chick eating rice. She nodded her head repeatedly. "Stand behind me first," Mo Qingyun instructed Pei Yin. Then, he looked at Xuejun and asked coldly, "Are you from the Xue family?" When he heard Mo Qingyun ask about his identity, Xuejun was stunned. Then, he looked arrogant. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun asked him this question because he was wary of his identity and didn't dare to lay his hands on him. That's right. I am from the Shui family. With this thought in mind, Shuijun revealed an arrogant expression. He raised his head provocatively at Mo Qingyun and said, "Not only am I a member of the Shui family, I am also the disciple of the Heavenly Dragon Faction's protector. How about it? Are you afraid?" Afraid? When he heard Shuijun's words, Mo Qingyun smiled and said coldly, "Is the Shui family very powerful? Are the disciples of the Sky Dragon sect very powerful? Also, let me tell you, I have killed many of the Shui family's elders." You have killed the Shui family's elders? When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Mr. Shuijun was stunned. Then, he laughed loudly and said disdainfully, "Kid, although you are pretty strong, you can't kill the Shui family's elders with your strength. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue, Poochie?" At this moment, while Shuijun was laughing, a blade directly pierced through his chest. He couldn't finish his sentence. When he saw Mo Qingyun kill him without any warning, Shuijun's eyes widened and he fell to the ground with a grievance. SSS. When they saw Mo Qingyun decisively kill Shuijun, the other people at the side turned pale and sucked in a breath of cold air. "This, Big Brother, please spare us. We didn't attack you just now. Big Brother, please don't kill me. I am from the Hu family of Lianyan City. As long as you let me go, my family will reward you handsomely. Big Brother, I will kneel down in front of you. Please spare me." At this moment, the other people at the side begged Mo Qingyun. At this moment, someone among the crowd suddenly said, "No." He called Pei Yin over just now and said that he wanted to thank Pei Yin. He must be planning to let Pei Yin go. Let's ask Pei Yin to plead on our behalf. When they heard this person's words, the other people's eyes lit up and they started begging Pei Yin. "Pei Yin, hurry up and beg this Big Brother to let us go, okay? Pei Yin, this Big Brother didn't kill you. He must have taken a liking to you. Quickly serve him well and ask him to let us go." "Yes, Pei Yin, hurry up and go. As long as you serve him well, he will definitely listen to your pleas. Pei Yin, what are you waiting for? Quickly go and serve this Big Brother. My life and death depends on you." In an instant, the crowd started begging Pei Yin. However, the meaning behind their words became more and more ambiguous. When they reached the end of their words, there was a faint sense of command in their words. When he heard the crowd's words, Mo Qingyun's face immediately darkened and his heart was filled with contempt and disdain. These people seemed to be even more detestable than Ma Guiyun and Ren Wenpeng. They were scum through and through. In order to save their own lives, they wanted others to sacrifice themselves. Moreover, they did not have the slightest sense of shame. They were simply too shameless. When he thought of this, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and he said coldly, "All of you deserve to die." Then Mo Qingyun raised his hand and was about to attack these people. Big Brother, wait. When she saw Mo Qingyun attack, Pei Yin's face immediately turned red and she shyly called out to Mo Qingyun. Chapter 138. You want to save them? Upon hearing Pei Yan's words, Mo Qingyun was surprised and looked at the innocent girl in front of him. After sizing up Pei Yan, Mo Qingyun said again, "Do you know what kind of price you'll have to pay if you want to save them?" Pei Yin was at a loss for words. Her cheeks were slightly red and her eyes were dazed. She did not know how to answer Mo Qingyun. Upon seeing Pei Yan's expression, Mo Qingyun shook his head helplessly. He raised his hand and threw a punch at the group of people. Bang, bang, bang. Faced with Mo Qingyun's punch, these people who were only at the 5th, 6th, and 7th level of the true energy realm were sent flying one by one. Puffed! When they landed on the ground, they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their faces were pale and their expressions were crazed. They discovered that under Mo Qingyun's attack, their dantians had all been blasted apart, and they had become cripples. After realizing this, everyone's faces were filled with resentment as they looked at Pei Yin with hatred. You be asterisk TCH. So what if you sacrifice yourself for everyone? It's not like you'll lose a piece of flesh. Now, everyone has lost their cultivation because of you and become crippled. Are you satisfied now? Be asterisk TCH. You'll die a horrible death. I curse you that you'll be raped every day. You're a jinx who brings bad luck to your husband and your family. Your family members are all dead because of you. At this moment, everyone at the side began to curse Pei Yin. Their curses were unbearable to the ears. Upon seeing the crowd's actions, Mo Qingyan looked at them with disdain and disgust. He turned to look at Pei Yin and asked, "Are you sure you still want to save them?" I don't know. Upon hearing Mo Qingyan's words, Pei Yin hesitated. Her eyes were filled with confusion. While Pei Yin was hesitating, Mo Qingyan raised his hand and threw a punch at the crowd. A surge of true energy blasted out. As soon as this surge of true energy was released, it turned into a flaming blade that swept towards the crowd and burned them to ashes. After killing the crowd, Mo Qingyan warned Pei Yin, "In this world, some people are not worth saving. Even if you save them, they won't be grateful to you. These people are one such example. In the future, be careful when you interact with others. Don't blindly trust others." After saying this, Mo Qingyan walked towards the golden stone green lotus moss. He picked it and put it into his heaven-earth bag. The goldstone jade lotus moss was a good thing. It was condensed from pure metal energy, and it was extremely helpful towards comprehending the profundities of metal. After putting away the golden stone green lotus moss, Mo Qingyan came to Pei Yan's side and said, "I'm leaving. Take care of yourself." When Pei Yin saw that Mo Qingyan was about to leave, she bit her lip and shouted, Wait a moment. Is there anything else?" Mo Qingyan turned around and asked with a puzzled expression, Can I go with you?" Pei Yan's face revealed an awkward expression. She then asked in a somewhat embarrassed manner, "Go with me?" Mo Qingyan narrowed his eyes and looked at Pei Yin. He smiled playfully and said, "I just reminded you to be careful when interacting with others in the future. Don't blindly trust others. How could you forget so quickly? If you go with me, aren't you afraid that I'll sell you out? I believe that you're a good person." Pei Yan's eyes were filled with innocence when she heard Mo Qingyan's words. She replied to Mo Qingyan, "A good person?" Mo Qingyan laughed at himself when he heard Pei Yan's words. He had never thought of himself as a good person. After a short silence, Mo Qingyan looked at Pei Yin and shook his head. "Let's go." "Thank you, young master." Pei Yan's face lit up when she heard Mo Qingyan agree. She thanked Mo Qingyan gratefully. "My name is Mo Qingyan. You can call me Big Brother Mo from now on," Mo Qingyan said to Pei Yin. "Okay, Big Brother Mo." Pei Yin nodded obediently and followed Mo Qingyan back to the Azure Jade Mansion with him. After 2 hours, Mo Qingyan and Pei Yin returned to Azure Jade Mansion. When Mo Qingyan returned to Azure Jade Mansion, he was surprised to see Wan Yuexian there. "Mr. Mo, you're back." Wan Yuexian's expression relaxed when he saw Mo Qingyan. He was pleasantly surprised and walked up to Mo Qingyan. Mo Qingyan knew why Wan Yuexian was here. He was probably here to ask him about the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven battle. "Okay." Mo Qingyan nodded and asked, "Young Master Wan, why are you here?" "Nothing much." Wan Yuexian smiled faintly and replied to Mo Qingyan, "I just wanted to ask about Mr. Mo's preparation for the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven battle." "Everything is ready. Please don't worry, young Master Wan and City Lord Wan." Mo Qingyan smiled faintly and comforted Wan Yuexian. However, while Mo Qingyan was speaking, Wan Yuexian revealed a surprised expression, and he looked at Pei Yin and said with surprise, "Pei Yin, why are you with young Master Mo?" Pei Yin heard Wan Yuexian's question and replied, "I met Big Brother Mo at Golden Stone Mountain." Pei Yin briefly recounted what had happened to Wan Yuexian. Wan Yuexian was grateful to Mo Qingyan after hearing Pei Yan's words. "Thank you, Mr. Mo, for saving Pei Yin." "Thank me?" Seeing Wan Yuexian's abnormal behavior, Mo Qingyan looked at Wan Yuexian in confusion. Seeing the confusion on Mo Qingyun's face, Wan Yuexian looked at him in surprise and asked, "Young Master Mo, you don't know Pei Yan's identity?" Pei Yan's identity? Mo Qingyun was curious. "Let me tell you." Meanwhile, Pei Yan interrupted and said, "Actually, I'm the granddaughter of the former leader of the Heavenly Dragon Gang, Pei Yang. Ever since Long Junjiang arrived, my grandfather started to be poisoned and passed away not long after." Next, Pei Yin recounted everything that had happened to her from beginning to end. However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that Pei Yin was Wan Yueshuan's cousin. "She's your cousin?" Mo Qingyun was stunned and looked at Wan Yuexian in surprise. "Yes, it's a long story. I'll explain it to Mr. Mo another day." Wan Yuexian smiled awkwardly and nodded. He did not elaborate on his relationship with Pei Yin. Seeing that Wan Yuexian didn't explain, Mo Qingyun didn't ask any more questions. He said in a low voice, "It seems like sect leader Pei and your father were both poisoned by the shadowless silkworm origin powder. However, sect leader Pei's poison is more severe than your father's." Mo Qingyun and Wan Yuexian talked for a while. Wan Yuexian was ready to leave. He stood up and said to Pei Yin, "Pei Yin, come with me to the governor's mansion." "Oh." Hearing Wan Yueshuan's words, Pei Yin pursed her lips and nodded. She looked at Mo Qingyun reluctantly and said, "Big brother Mo, I will follow cousin Yuexian to the city lord's mansion first. I will come and see you another day." "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded. Since Pei Yin was Wan Yueshuan's cousin, it was a good choice for her to leave with Wan Yuexian. Then, Pei Yin and Wan Yuexian left the Azure Jade Mansion. After Wan Yuexian and Pei Yin left, Mo Qingyun went to Qi Lian's residence and asked him about the progress of the plan. Mo Qingyun asked, "Qi Lian, what's the progress of the plan?" "Currently, the entire Shui family is under my control except for Shui Jinyang." Qi Lian smiled brightly and reported to Mo Qingyun. "Oh." Mo Qingyun was surprised to hear Qi Lian's report. He was surprised by the speed of Qi Lian's progress. He said happily, "Great. In that case, let's go and take care of Shui Jinyang." "Young lord, do you plan to kill Shui Jinyang?" Qi Lian's expression changed when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said worriedly, "If Shui Jinyang dies, the Sky Dragon sect and Mount Tai sect will notice it. What should we do?" "Haha, you don't have to worry about that. I have my own plans." Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said to Qi Lian, "Let's go to the Shui family." Chapter 139. An hour later, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the Shui residence. After arriving at the Shui residence, Qi Lian brought Mo Qingyun to a secret chamber in the Shui residence to wait for Shui Jinyang's arrival. On the way to the secret chamber, Qi Lian ordered the Shui family elders to bring Shui Jinyang to the secret chamber. About 15 minutes later, Shui Jinyang arrived at the secret chamber accompanied by the Shui family elders. When Shui Jinyang entered the secret chamber and saw Mo Qingyun, he sneered. On the way here, the Shui family elders had told him that Qi Lian had been bribed by the Shui family. As a sign of allegiance, Qi Lian had captured Mo Qingyun. After knowing this, Shui Jinyang was overjoyed. "Little thief from the Mo family, to think that you would have such a day." Shui Jinyang slowly walked towards Mo Qingyun and sneered. "You didn't expect that you would be betrayed by someone beside you one day, right? Isn't the feeling of being betrayed very unpleasant? Betrayed by someone beside me?" After hearing Shui Jinyang's words, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and did not reply. "Oof, you can still smile. However, it seems that you can only force a smile now." Seeing Mo Qingyun's faint smile, Shui Jinyang's face darkened. He snorted coldly and said, "Let's see who can save you today. I'll tear you into pieces to comfort the souls of my son and nephew." "Little thief from the Mo family, die." As soon as Shui Jinyang finished speaking, he raised his hand and blasted towards Mo Qingyun. The origin energy in his hand frantically gathered. Bang, bang, bang. However, at this moment, when Shui Jinyang was about to attack Mo Qingyun, a terrifying palm force suddenly imprinted on his body and sent him flying. Pucci. After being bombarded by several palm forces in succession, Shuizhengyang immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was deathly pale and his aura weakened. "You all of you!" Shuizhengyang could not believe that the people who attacked him were actually the elders of the Shui family. This result was too sudden for him. It was completely out of his expectations. "Greetings, Master." The elders of the Shui family chose to ignore Shuizhengyang's question and knelt before Mo Qingyun. And Master, seeing the actions of the Shui family elders, Shuizhengyang was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe his eyes. The elders of the Shui family actually called Mo Qingyun Master. This situation was really ironic. When he thought about what he said to Mo Qingyun just now, Shuizhengyang's old face turned red, and his heart was filled with extreme shame and anger. Betrayed by the people around him? Wasn't he talking about himself? Seeing Shuizhengyang's expression, the playful look on Mo Qingyun's face deepened. He walked closer to Shuizhengyang and said with a faint smile, "Does it feel bad to be betrayed by someone beside you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shuizhengyang was so angry that he vomited blood again, and his face became even paler. "Little thief of the Mo clan, you'll die a horrible death." After vomiting blood, Shuizhengyang's face was filled with rage as he roared at Mo Qingyun. "I don't know if I'll die a horrible death. All I know is that you're going to die soon." Mo Qingyun pursed his lips and replied to Shuizhengyang. He then said to Qi Lian, who was beside him, "Kill him." "Yes, young lord." Qi Lian's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He moved his body and blasted a palm strike at Shuizhengyang. Vampiric Devil Palm. Qi Lian's palm strike instantly caused blood energy to surge and spread throughout the secret chamber. "You'll have to pay the price if you want to kill me." Seeing Qi Lian attack, Shuizhengyang's face darkened, and he retaliated. Shuizhengyang was a 4th-level Yuan Dan stage powerhouse after all. As the saying went, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Although he was heavily injured, he could still fight with Qi Lian. Of course, he could only fight with great difficulty. After all, Qi Lian's comprehension of profundity was much stronger than his. Facing Qi Lian's powerful attack, Shuizhengyang soon fell into a passive position. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. Seeing that he was no match for Qi Lian, Shuizhengyang prepared to flee. He said ruthlessly, "Boy, I miscalculated today. However, I, Shuizhengyang, will remember today's enmity. In the future, I'll pay you back tenfold." Shuizhengyang's body flashed as soon as he finished speaking. He was unwilling to continue fighting with Qi Lian. You want to leave? It's not that easy." Mo Qingyun's face turned cold when he saw Shuizhengyang was about to leave. He snorted coldly and replied to him, "Seal gate, seal for me." Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed at Shuizhengyang as soon as he finished speaking. Then, a mini version of the light door condensed on Mo Qingyun's finger at an extremely fast speed. It transformed into a ray of light and blasted into Shuizhengyang's body. Poof! Shuizhengyang was already severely injured. Now that he was hit by Mo Qingyun's martial soul superpower, which sealed the bloodline in his body, he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. At this moment, Shuizhengyang's cultivation base dropped from the original 4th-level Yuan Dan stage to the peak of the 2nd-level Yuan Dan stage. Ow! How could this be? Shuizhengyang's expression changed when he saw his cultivation base drop. A terrified expression appeared on his face. With his 4th-level Yuan Dan stage cultivation base, he could barely fight with Qi Lian. Now that his cultivation base had dropped, he was no longer Qi Lian's match. Soul Sky Seal. At this moment, while Shuizhengyang was still in a state of panic, Mo Qingyun quickly cast out 18 Soul Battle Seals. With the speed of a meteor, they blasted toward Shuizhengyang's head and severely injured his soul. Poof! Faced with the attack of the 18 Soul Battle Seals, Shuizhengyang's soul was severely injured again. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Blood Demon Devour. While Shui Zhenyang's soul was injured, Qi Lian attacked him with his palm and sent him flying. Faced with Qi Lian's attack, Shui Zhenyang was like a kite with a broken string as he was sent flying. Cough, cough, cough. Under Qi Lian's attack, Shui Zhenyang continuously spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His aura weakened as though he was an old man with one foot in the grave. However, Qi Lian did not go easy on him. He lifted his hand and grabbed Shui Zhenyang, directly extracting all of his blood essence. After Shui Zhenyang's blood essence was completely extracted by Qi Lian, he fell to the ground with a pained expression on his face. After extracting Shui Zhenyang's blood essence, Qi Lian did not hesitate and directly refined it on the spot. Mo Qingyun did not stop Qi Lian from refining the blood essence. Instead, he stood aside and waited for Qi Lian to refine the blood essence. At that moment, when the Shui family's elders saw Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's abilities, they all revealed expressions of reverence. All of them sighed inwardly. It was a huge mistake for the Shui family to offend such people. About 2 hours later, Qi Lian's aura suddenly skyrocketed. His cultivation base had entered the 4th level of Yuan dance stage. Apart from that, Qi Lian's blood qi had also become stronger. Qi Lian's blood profundity had advanced to the 5th level. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, young lord. After Qi Lian came out of his cultivation, he looked apologetic and cupped his fists at Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Qi Lian's cultivation base and profundity had improved, Mo Qingyun was delighted and asked, "How's your strength now?" Qi Lian said proudly, "I can fight against the 6th level of Yuan dance stage." Great. Mo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction when he heard Qi Lian's words. "Young lord, what if the Sky Dragon sect and Mount Tai sect notice us after we killed Shui Zhenyang?" Qi Lian asked Mo Qingyun. He was still a bit worried. "Why want us to attract their attention?" Mo Qingyun's lips curled when he heard Qi Lian's words. He smiled faintly and said, "If I've guessed correctly, once Shui Zhenyang dies, the Mount Tai sect and Heavenly Dragon sect will definitely send people to the Shui family to replace him." Mo Qingyun continued, "If that's the case, you can recruit these people and use them as a foundation to recruit the people from the Sky Dragon sect and Mount Tai sect." "Young lord, you're wise." Qi Lian's eyes lit up when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He looked impressed. The elders from the Shui family had complicated expressions on their faces. They were worried for the Mount Tai sect and the Sky Dragon sect. However, they had been turned into blood slaves by Qi Lian. Although they knew that the Sky Dragon sect and Mount Tai sect would not end well, they could not bring themselves to report it. Let's return to the Azure Jade Mansion. After giving a simple explanation to everyone, Mo Qingyun left with Qi Lian. Chapter 140. After returning to the Azure Jade Mansion, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian returned to their respective residences. Qi Lian had refined Shui Zhenyang's blood essence and had made a breakthrough in his cultivation. However, he still needed to stabilize it. Mo Qingyun planned to use this time to refine the golden stone green lotus moss and comprehend the gold ultimacy within it. In the small courtyard, Mo Qingyun took out the golden stone green lotus moss and began to refine it. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the golden stone green lotus moss turned into specks of golden light and was slowly absorbed into Mo Qingyun's body. As he continued to absorb the golden light, a mysterious scene formed around Mo Qingyun's body. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was like a dignified Buddha as his body emitted a golden light. Wherever the golden light passed, the surrounding stone benches and stone slabs would be left with scars. Just like this, time passed little by little as Mo Qingyun cultivated. The night was silent. When the sun rose the next day, Mo Qingyun slowly opened his eyes and a look of surprise appeared on his face. After a night of cultivation, the golden stone green lotus moss had finally been refined and he had finally touched the threshold of the gold ultimacy. Mo Qingyun was confident that as long as he was given enough time, he would be able to comprehend the gold ultimacy very quickly. Today is the day of the battle of the Cloud Sea Paradise. It seems like I don't have time to continue comprehending it. Mo Qingyun sighed inwardly and muttered to himself regretfully. He got up and walked out of the courtyard. Young lord, when Mo Qingyun came out of the courtyard, Qi Lian was already waiting for him. When he saw him come out, Qi Lian bowed and said, City Lord Wan and the others are already waiting in the main hall. Come, let's go. When Mo Qingyun heard this, he nodded and walked towards the main hall. After a while, when Wan Lianyun saw Mo Qingyun arrive, he got up and smiled at Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, are you ready? And Mo Qingyun nodded. Let's go. When Wan Lianyun saw Mo Qingyun nodding his head, he chuckled and called out to Mo Qingyun before they walked out of the Azure Jade Mansion together. A short while later, Mo Qingyun's group arrived outside the Bu Manor. A horse carriage was parked outside the manor. Lifting the curtain, Mo Qingyun saw that there were already several people sitting in the carriage. Among these people, there were a few old men and 2 young men. These 2 young men were both at the peak of the true energy realm. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun guessed that the 2 of them should be candidates to participate in the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven battle. A brat at the 8th level of the true energy realm actually made everyone wait for so long. What arrogance! Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the dark-skinned young man among the 2 youths spoke with dissatisfaction. Maybe he's very powerful. Otherwise, how could he keep the city lord waiting for so long? After the dark-skinned young man spoke, the other young man also sneered. Hearing their words, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and looked at the 2 of them with narrowed eyes. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Qi Lian immediately snorted coldly and released his aura to suppress the 2 of them. Under Qi Lian's aura, the 2 youths' expressions changed and their faces turned pale. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, one of the old men in the carriage opened his eyes and said with slight displeasure, This must be Mr. Qi, how overbearing. Mr. Qi, Guardian Pang, we're all on the same side. Don't fight over small matters. Seeing the scene before him, Wan Lianyun smiled faintly and waved his hand at the crowd to mediate. Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Guardian Pang looked displeased and said, City Lord, this battle for the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven is very important. I'm afraid it's too rash to let a brat at the 8th level of the true energy realm participate. If he loses, it will be troublesome. Don't worry, Guardian Pang. I know Mr. Mo's strength very well. In response to Guardian Pang's doubts, Wan Lianyun chuckled and explained to him, City Lord, we don't want to lose because of an idiot. At this moment, one of the 2 youths said, Also, if someone gets a spot to enter the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven without even having to do anything, isn't that too good of a plan? Idiot? After hearing their words, Mo Qingyun smirked and said with a playful smile, City Lord Wan, I think it's better for me to compete with the 2 geniuses of the City Lord's mansion before we leave. I don't like to work with idiots. Brat, you're courting death. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the 2 youths' faces darkened and they looked at Mo Qingyun with murderous intent. Seeing this, Wan Lianyun couldn't help but frown and feel a little troubled. He was worried that if one of Mo Qingyun's group was injured because of this, it wouldn't be good. City Lord, the battle for the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven is very important. I also think it's better to compete first, just in case. At this moment, the 2 elders who had been silent at the side also spoke up. In that case, let's let Pang Wei, Wu Chong, and Mr. Mo spar first. After a slight hesitation, Wan Lianyun nodded and agreed to Guardian Pang's suggestion. Of course, Wan Lianyun agreed because he wanted to see Mo Qingyun's actual strength. After all, he hadn't seen Mo Qingyun fight yet. When they saw that Wan Lianyun had agreed, Pang Wei and Wu Chong revealed sinister smiles as they looked at Mo Qingyun. As far as they were concerned, Mo Qingyun, a brat at the 8th level of the true energy realm, would be easily defeated by them. At this moment, Wu Chong walked out and looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Kid, don't say that I didn't give you a chance. I'll let you make the first move. Kid, it's not too late if you kowtow and beg for mercy now. Hearing Wu Chang's words, Pang Wei's face was full of arrogance as he sneered at Mo Qingyun. Otherwise, it'll be too late for you to beg for mercy after the battle. Let me make the first move, kowtow and beg for mercy. Hearing Pang Wei and Wu Chang's words, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said, "Are you done with your nonsense? If you're done, don't waste any more time. Both of you can come at me together. Both of you can come at me together." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's arrogance. How arrogant! With Wu Chong and Pang Wei working together, even a true energy realm cultivator won't have an advantage over them. That's good too. Let Pang Wei and Wu Chong teach him a lesson and show him the immensity of heaven and earth. City Lord, this is the person you found. If we didn't have doubts about him, I'm afraid we would have messed things up. At this moment, the protectors of the City Lord's mansion spoke up. While the protectors were speaking, Wan Lianyun and Wan Yuexian looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly. They didn't believe that Mo Qingyun was such an arrogant person. If that was the case, Mo Qingyun would have been killed by the Shui family long ago. At this moment, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Pang Wei and Wu Chong slowly closed in on Mo Qingyun. "Kid, you asked for it. Don't blame us for being ruthless." With that, Pang Wei and Wu Chong moved and attacked Mo Qingyun. Tyrannical tiger, blue wave palm, water cloud, thunder sky collapse. At this moment, Pang Wei and Wu Chong attacked Mo Qingyun at the same time. As they attacked, their true chi surged and attacked Mo Qingyun like a ferocious tiger breaking through the waves. Golden Jade, true body, bird of prey break. Faced with Pang Wei and Wu Chong's attacks, Mo Qingyun didn't show any mercy. In a flash, he rushed towards the two. Suddenly, a terrifying gravitational force pressed down on Pang Wei and Wu Chong. At the same time, the tyrannical wind blades were also madly attacking Pang Wei and Luo Yunyang. Puffed, puffed, puffed. In a short while, hideous wounds appeared on Pang Wei and Wu Chong's bodies. Their faces turned pale. Bang, bang. At the same time, Pang Wei and Wu Chong were sent flying by Mo Qingyun's attack and fell to the ground. One move. With just one move, Pang Wei and Wu Chong, who were at the peak of the true energy realm, were defeated by Mo Qingyun. Wan Lianyun and the others were dumbfounded when they saw this. They truly did not expect that Mo Qingyun's strength was actually formidable to such an extent. That kid seemed to have used 2 ultimacies in succession. At this moment, one of the protectors of the City Lord's mansion was shocked and said in disbelief. Hearing this protector's words, the rest of the people were shocked. He was only at the true energy realm, but he had already comprehended 2 ultimacies. This talent was too monstrous. With Pang Wei and Wu Chong's talent, compared to Mo Qingyun, they were no different from idiots. He really did comprehend 2 ultimacies. This guy's indeed monstrous. Seeing Mo Qingyun display 2 ultimacies, Wan Lianyun couldn't help but exclaim. Although he had heard that Mo Qingyun had comprehended 2 ultimacies, seeing it with his own eyes gave him a different feeling. Looks like I'm really no match for this guy. Seeing Mo Qingyun's combat strength, Wan Yuexian smiled bitterly. He had suffered a blow. At this moment, while the crowd was sighing, Mo Qingyun walked towards Pang Wei and Wu Chong. He smiled playfully and said, "Idiots." Chapter 141. Out of respect for Wan Lianyun, Mo Qingyun did not hit Pang Wei and Wu Chong too hard. Therefore, although Pang Wei and Wu Chong looked like they were in a mess, their injuries were not serious. However, everyone was very clear in their hearts that this was because Mo Qingyun had shown mercy. Otherwise, Pang Wei and Wu Chong would not be in this state right now. After this fight, everyone had a clear understanding of Mo Qingyun's strength. Pang Wei and Wu Chong were no match for him. Now everyone has no doubts about Mr. Mo's strength, right? Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, Wan Lianyun was pleasantly surprised. He laughed at the crowd and eased the tension. He had guessed that Mo Qingyun's strength was much stronger than Pang Wei and Wu Chong. However, he did not expect Mo Qingyun's strength to be so strong. This time we were too rash. The City Lord is wise. With Mr. Mo's help, the City Lord's office will definitely win this fight for the Cloud Sea Cave. At this moment, Guardian Pang and the others laughed after hearing this. They had acknowledged Mo Qingyun. As for Pang Wei and Wu Chong, they no longer had their arrogance. They looked at Mo Qingyun with respect. Being able to comprehend ultimacy at the true Qi realm, this kind of monster was not someone they could provoke. If this kind of person did not die, he would definitely be a terrifying existence in the future. He would be unreachable in the future. Seeing that everyone had acknowledged him, Mo Qingyun did not say anything else. He walked directly into the car. After all, he was invited by Wan Lianyun. It would not be good to make things difficult for Wan Lianyun. Immediately, Mo Qingyun and the others got into the car and headed to the arena. After about half an hour, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived in front of a lake. This was the entrance to the Cloud Sea Cave. At this moment, there were two groups of people around the lake. They were from a Sky Dragon sect and the Mount Tai sect. Wan Lianyun, we thought that the City Lord's office was afraid and did not dare to come. Seeing Wan Lianyun's arrival, Tai Zhenhai sneered and mocked Wan Lianyun. You think too highly of yourselves. You can't make us cower. In response to Tai Zhenhai's mockery, Wan Lianyun did not back down. All right, since everyone is here, let's start the fight. Now, the nearby Long Junjiang interjected, interrupting the dispute between Wan Lianyun and Tai Zhenhai. However, right when Long Junjiang finished speaking, Tai Zhenhai's face sank abruptly, and he shouted at Mo Qingyun, who stood by Wan Lianyun's side. Little thief of the Mo clan, was the death of Patriarch Shui done by you? Death? When they heard Tai Zhenhai's words, the people from the City Lord's mansion were stunned. They looked at Mo Qingyun in confusion. After a moment, Yan's face. From Tai Zhenhai's words, it seemed that Shui Zhenyang's death was caused by Mo Qingyun. They knew a little about the conflict between Mo Qingyun and the Shui family. If Shui Zhenyang really died at the hands of Mo Qingyun, then Mo Qingyun's methods were a little shocking. Looks like we underestimated this kid. I didn't expect Shui Zhenyang to be defeated by him. The protectors of the City Lord's office sighed in their hearts. The way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed. As for Pang Wei and Wu Chong, their eyes were filled with fear when they looked at Mo Qingyun. They did not expect Shui Zhenyang to be killed by Mo Qingyun with his status and strength. If Mo Qingyun wanted to deal with them, they could imagine what would happen to them. They did not think that they could be compared to Shui Zhenyang. Thinking of this, Pang Wei and Wu Chong broke out in cold sweat. Wan Lianyun, hand this kid over. We can give you the quota for the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven battle. Tai Zhenhai's face darkened as he said coldly to Wan Lianyun. What? As long as they handed over Mo Qingyun, the Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon sect were willing to give up the quota to enter the Cloud Sea Grotto Heaven. When Tai Zhenhai said this, the expressions of everyone in the City Lord's office changed. A few of the protectors were tempted. At this moment, everyone's gaze was focused on Wan Lianyun as they waited for his reply. Like the others, Mo Qingyun was also sizing up Wan Lianyun. He wanted to see how he would make his decision. Of course, while waiting for Wan Lianyun's reply, Mo Qingyun was also ready to activate the power of the Pill Palace to open the teleportation gate. As long as Wan Lianyun agreed to hand him over, he would make his move without hesitation. After all, it was better to be cautious. At this moment, under everyone's gaze, Wan Lianyun chuckled and replied, "That won't do. Mr. Mo is now a candidate for the City Lord's office. I can't hand him over to you." Hearing Wan Lianyun's reply, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. Unless it was absolutely necessary, he did not want to expose the teleportation gate. As for borrowing the power of the Pill Palace, he did not want to use it too much. After all, it would cause too much harm to his body. What? This kid is a candidate for the City Lord's office? When the people from the Sky Dragon sect and Mount Tai sect heard Wan Lianyun's words, their expressions turned ugly. They were very clear about Mo Qingyun's methods. He had even tricked Yuan Dan realm experts. If he was allowed to participate in the battle, the Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon sect would not need to compete. They could just admit defeat. Wan Lianyun, your city lord's office, is actually asking for help from outsiders. Tai Jinhai's expression was cold as he questioned Wan Lianyun. I don't think I need to explain this to you. Wan Lianyun curled his lips and replied indifferently. We can let this kid participate in the battle, but he has to agree to one condition. Hearing Wan Lianyun's words, Long Junjiang's expression also darkened. He said coldly, that is, he has to guarantee that during the battle, he can't use any power outside of himself. Can't use any power outside of himself? Hearing Long Junjiang's words, the expressions of the people from the city lord's office changed again. Their eyes revealed a trace of doubt. At this moment, from the reaction of the people from the Mount Tai sect and Sky Dragon sect, they seemed to be very wary of Mo Qingyun's trump card. After hearing Long Junjiang's words, Wan Lianyun turned to Mo Qingyun and asked for Mo Qingyun's opinion. Seeing Wan Lianyun turn to look at him, Mo Qingyun nodded at him. All right, I agree. Wan Lianyun didn't hesitate any longer and accepted Long Junjiang and Tai Jinhai's suggestion when he saw Mo Qingyun nod his head. When they saw Wan Lianyun agree, gloomy smiles appeared on the corners of Long Junjiang and Tai Jinhai's mouths. It's our turn to set the rules of the competition this time. Now, I'll explain the rules of the competition. Long Junjiang said, the method of challenge this time is a battle. The participants of the three powers are free to choose their opponents, and the person being challenged can't refuse. Otherwise, it will be considered as forfeiting the position. The expressions of Wan Lianyun and the others went grim when they heard Long Junjiang, and their expressions became unsightly. According to the method Long Junjiang spoke of, when the time came, their two powers would join forces and take turns to challenge the members of the City Lord's office. Then, during the battle, the members of the City Lord's office would suffer an extremely great loss. We don't agree. Meanwhile, Guardian Pang of the City Lord's office had a displeased expression as he objected. What? Could it be that the City Lord's office wants to go back on the agreement from that day? When he saw Guardian Pang object, Long Junjiang instead revealed a cold smile and said, "Don't forget that all three of us agreed when this rule was set. The method of the competition every year will be set by the various powers in turn. If all of you go back on the agreement, then it will be considered as forfeiting the competition." Guardian Pang was instantly enraged when he saw Long Junjiang's complacent expression, and he intended to refute. But right when Guardian Pang was about to speak, he was stopped by Wan Lianyun. After he interrupted Guardian Pang, Wan Lianyun's expression was serious as he said to Long Junjiang in a low voice, "Let's do as all of you said and begin the competition. City Lord Wan is straightforward. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.